Don't miss the awesome Naruto stories my sister creates. Her last channel was hacked, so to stay in the loop, please subscribe to her new channel. It would mean a lot to her, and you won't regret it. Dear Naruto Lemon fans, I'm thrilled to invite all of you to my Boosty channel, where you can enjoy exclusive Naruto Lemon scenes in a comfortable and supportive community. Choose from various subscription tiers, from Mini Lemon to God Lemon, and gain access to unique content tailored just for our fans. Plus, subscribers to over Naruto Lemon and God Lemon will receive special mentions in my videos. Support my channel and dive deeper into the world of Naruto today. Dare! Hello everyone, it's Tatsu on the mic. Today, we have an exciting story where Naruto was abandoned by his parents, but they didn't know he was the prince of the Uzumaki clan and now he has a loving harem. Yes, you heard that right. This story will feature Kushina and Mikoto, as well as Hinata, Sakura, Ino, and Tenten. If you're into these kinds of plots, please drop a like. It's easy for you, and it motivates me to keep writing more stories for you. Enjoy listening. Chapter 1, Awakening of the Hidden Prince. The sun shone brightly over Konoha, the hidden leaf village, casting warm rays on the streets bustling with life. Children played in the parks, shinobi trained diligently in their usual spots, and the aroma of delicious food wafted from the various stalls lining the village's central plaza. It was a typical day in the village, but for Naruto Uzumaki, today felt different. There was a sense of anticipation lingering in the air, as if the universe was whispering secrets only he could hear. Naruto, with his wild blonde hair and determined blue eyes, ran through the streets, his heart racing with excitement. The village knew him as the prankster, the troublemaker, and the boy who yearned for recognition. But today, he felt something deeper stirring within him, an awakening. The vibrant chatter around him faded as he focused on the mission ahead. He arrived at the training grounds, where his friends awaited. Sasuke stood with his arms crossed, the usual brooding look on his face. Sakura, her pink hair bouncing as she turned to greet him, wore a bright smile that could light up the darkest corners of the village. And there was Hinata, standing shyly beside Sakura, her lavender eyes sparkling with admiration as they fell on Naruto. "Hey, guys!" Naruto exclaimed, his voice full of energy. "Are you ready for today's training? I've got something special planned." Sakura rolled her eyes playfully. "Special, huh? Last time your special plan ended with us in the river, remember?" Naruto laughed, scratching the back of his head sheepishly. "Yeah, but this time I promise it'll be different." Sasuke smirked, his dark eyes glinting with amusement. "You're all talk, dobe. Let's see if you can actually pull it off." Hinata stepped forward, her voice barely above a whisper. "I believe in you, Naruto-kun. You can do it." Her encouragement sent a rush of warmth through Naruto. It was moments like these that reminded him of the bonds he had formed, bonds he had longed for as a child. As they began their training, the sun climbed higher in the sky, casting shadows that danced across the ground. Naruto was focused, pushing himself to hone his skills. He practiced his Rasengan, the spiraling sphere of chakra that had become his signature technique. The energy flowed through him, surging with each attempt, but today felt different. There was a power within him, one he couldn't quite grasp. After hours of training, they decided to take a break. Naruto sat on the grass, catching his breath while his friends chatted nearby. He felt a sudden urge to explore the forest that surrounded the village, a place where many adventures had begun. He remembered the stories he had heard about the mysterious hidden scrolls that were said to contain powerful secrets. "Hey, I'm going to check out the forest for a bit," he called to his friends. "Be careful." Sakura shouted back, her voice laced with concern. Naruto nodded, his determination unwavering. He sprinted toward the edge of the forest, feeling the adrenaline rush through him. The trees loomed tall, their leaves rustling gently in the breeze. As he ventured deeper, he felt an inexplicable connection to the land around him, as if it was alive with energy and history. After some time, he stumbled upon a clearing. In the center stood a stone pedestal, weathered and covered in moss. Curiosity piqued, Naruto approached it cautiously. Resting atop the pedestal was an ancient scroll, its surface adorned with intricate symbols and markings. The scroll seemed to pulsate with a faint glow, as if beckoning him closer. Without a second thought, Naruto reached out, carefully unrolling the parchment. As he began to read the words written in an elegant script, a surge of chakra erupted around him, causing the air to crackle with energy. What is this?" he exclaimed, his heart racing. The scroll revealed secrets of his lineage, tales of the Uzumaki clan, their powerful heritage, and their connection to the Uchiha clan. He was not just an orphaned boy, he was a prince, destined for greatness. Suddenly, a vision flooded his mind. He saw himself in the past, surrounded by members of the Uzumaki clan, each one strong and formidable. He felt the warmth of their smiles, the pride they carried in their bloodline. But the vision darkened, revealing shadows lurking in the distance, threats that had led to the clan's downfall. Naruto gasped, pulling back from the scroll as reality hit him like a tidal wave. I'm a prince," he whispered, disbelief mingling with a newfound determination. He could no longer remain the prankster, he had a destiny to fulfill. As he absorbed the revelation, he felt a presence behind him. Turning quickly, he saw Kushina Uzumaki stepping into the clearing. Her long, crimson hair flowed behind her like a flame, and her eyes sparkled with a knowing glimmer. "Naruto," she said softly, her voice wrapping around him like a comforting embrace. "I knew you would find it." "Kushina," he exclaimed, surprise washing over him. "You knew about this? Why didn't you tell me?" Kushina approached, her expression a mix of pride and concern. "You had to discover it on your own, Naruto. It's part of your journey. You're meant to embrace your heritage and the strength that comes with it." "I don't know if I'm ready for this," Naruto admitted, his voice trembling with uncertainty. Kushina smiled gently, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "You are stronger than you think. The power of the Uzumaki clan flows through you. And I will help you every step of the way." Just then, Mikoto Uchiha entered the clearing, her presence commanding yet graceful. "Kushina, is he aware of what lies ahead?" she asked, her eyes scanning Naruto's face for answers. "I just found out," Naruto said, excitement and fear mingling in his heart. "I'm a prince, but I don't know what that means for me or the village." Mikoto stepped closer, her expression softening. "It means you have the potential to change everything. The Uchiha and Uzumaki clans are intertwined, and you hold the key to uniting our legacies." Naruto looked between the two women, realizing the depth of their support. "Then I'll do it. I'll embrace my heritage and protect everyone." Kushina's smile widened. "That's the spirit. But remember, it's not just about strength. It's about understanding your past and forging your own path." Mikoto nodded in agreement. "We will train together, and I'll teach you the ways of the Uchiha. You need to be prepared for the challenges that lie ahead." With renewed determination, Naruto clenched his fists. "I won't let you down. I'll prove I can be a great prince and protector." The three of them stood together in the clearing, a newfound bond forming between them. Naruto realized that he was no longer alone, he had allies, friends, and perhaps something more. As they made their way back to the village, Naruto couldn't shake the feeling that his life was about to change forever. He had discovered not only his heritage but also the strength of the bonds he shared with Kushina and Mikoto. The sun began to set, casting a golden hue over the village, and Naruto felt an overwhelming sense of hope. He was ready to embrace his destiny as the Hidden Prince. Chapter 2, Training and Bonds. The sun rose over Konoha, casting a warm glow over the village. Birds chirped cheerfully, and the sound of bustling life filled the air as Naruto awoke, filled with anticipation. The revelation of his royal heritage from the previous day weighed heavily on his mind, but today was a new beginning. Naruto quickly dressed and set out for the training grounds, excitement bubbling within him. He was determined to harness the power that came with his lineage and to become stronger than ever before. As he approached the training area, he spotted Kushina practicing her jutsu, her movements graceful and fluid, each technique executed with precision. "Hey, Kushina!" Naruto called, waving enthusiastically. Kushina turned, her red hair glinting in the sunlight. "Good morning, Naruto. Ready for some training?" "Absolutely," he replied, determination in his voice. "I want to learn everything I can about being a prince and an Uzumaki." Kushina smiled, her expression a mix of pride and affection. "Then let's get started. Today, we'll focus on enhancing your chakra control and teaching you some of the clan's unique techniques." As they began their training, Naruto felt a sense of exhilaration. He watched as Kushina demonstrated the Uzumaki chain technique, a powerful ability that allowed her to extend chains of chakra to bind and immobilize opponents. The chains glimmered with energy, and Naruto was mesmerized by her skill. "Now, it's your turn," Kushina instructed, stepping back to give him space. "Focus on your chakra. Visualize the chains forming in your mind." Naruto nodded, closing his eyes and concentrating. He felt the familiar warmth of chakra surging within him, but controlling it was a different challenge. He concentrated hard, envisioning the chains as he attempted to form them. To his dismay, the first few attempts resulted in nothing but a flicker of energy. Kushina observed him, a supportive smile on her face. "Don't get discouraged. You're just starting out, and this technique takes practice. Remember, it's about feeling the chakra as part of you." He took a deep breath, resetting his focus. This time, he envisioned not just the chains but also the connection to his clan's legacy. He could almost feel the presence of his ancestors guiding him, their strength flowing through his veins. With renewed determination, he extended his hand, and to his surprise, a chain of chakra erupted from his palm. It flickered and wobbled, but it was there. "Great job!" Kushina cheered, clapping her hands. "You're getting it. Just keep practicing, and you'll master it in no time." Encouraged by her praise, Naruto continued to train, practicing the Uzumaki chain technique for what felt like hours. Every successful attempt filled him with a sense of accomplishment, and he reveled in the feeling of progress. As they took a break, Naruto leaned against a tree, wiping the sweat from his brow. "Thanks for believing in me, Kushina. I really want to make you proud." Kushina knelt beside him, her eyes softening. "You already make me proud, Naruto. You have the heart of a true warrior. Just remember, strength isn't just about power, it's about protecting those you love." Naruto nodded, her words resonating deeply within him. He glanced over at the training area, where he spotted Mikoto observing them from a distance. Her presence always intrigued him, she exuded an aura of mystery and strength. "Hey, Mikoto," he called out, gesturing for her to join them. "Come on over." Mikoto approached slowly, her dark hair flowing gently in the breeze. "I hope I'm not interrupting," she said, her voice calm and composed. "Not at all. We were just practicing some techniques. Would you like to join?" Naruto offered enthusiastically. She considered his invitation for a moment, then smiled. "I'd love to. I have some techniques I can teach you as well." Naruto's excitement grew. "Really? That would be awesome. What will you show me?" "Let's start with the Sharingan," Mikoto replied, her eyes gleaming with anticipation. It's a powerful tool that allows the user to see their opponent's movements and predict their next attack. It's not something you can learn overnight, but I can help you get started. As Mikoto demonstrated the use of the Sharingan, Naruto watched in awe. The way her eyes transformed and the incredible abilities she showcased left him speechless. He felt an overwhelming desire to learn this technique, not just for himself but to protect those he cared about. Wow, that's amazing! I want to learn that, he exclaimed, his enthusiasm evident. Very well, Mikoto said, her tone serious yet encouraging. But remember, the Sharingan requires immense chakra control and focus. It's not just about activating the eyes, it's about using them wisely. Naruto nodded, determination shining in his eyes. I'll do whatever it takes. The three of them spent the rest of the day training together, alternating between Kushina's Uzumaki chain technique and Mikoto's teachings on the Sharingan. The camaraderie grew as they faced challenges, and laughter filled the air as they playfully teased each other during their training. As the sun began to set, casting a warm orange glow over the village, Naruto felt a sense of fulfillment. He was no longer just a boy yearning for recognition, he was becoming a warrior, forging bonds with powerful women who believed in him. Great job today, everyone. Naruto said, catching his breath. I feel like I'm finally starting to understand my abilities. Kushina grinned. You've made incredible progress. Keep it up, and you'll surprise everyone with your strength. Mikoto nodded in agreement, her expression softening. Just remember, Naruto, the path ahead will not be easy. There will be challenges, and you must be prepared to face them head-on. Naruto's heart swelled with determination. I won't back down. I'll face whatever comes my way, with all of you by my side. As they walked back to the village together, Naruto couldn't help but feel a sense of belonging. With Kushina and Mikoto supporting him, he was ready to embrace his destiny as the hidden prince and protect those he loved. Chapter 3, Shadows of the Past. The following morning dawned with a brilliant sun illuminating the village of Konoha. Naruto awoke with renewed vigor, a feeling of purpose coursing through him. As he prepared for the day, he couldn't shake the excitement of learning the techniques that would help him unlock the full potential of his heritage. After a quick breakfast, he made his way to the training grounds, his mind racing with thoughts of Konoha's future. He was determined to protect his friends, the village, and now, the legacy of the Uzumaki clan. The memory of the scroll's revelations echoed in his mind, fueling his resolve. As he arrived at the training area, he found Kushina already waiting for him, practicing a new technique. Her movements were fluid, each action demonstrating a mastery of chakra control that left him in awe. Good morning, Naruto, she greeted, her smile brightening the space around her. Ready for another day of training? Absolutely. Naruto replied, his enthusiasm palpable. What are we working on today? We'll focus on enhancing your jutsu and chakra control, Kushina said, clapping her hands together. But first, I want you to practice the basics of the Uzumaki chain technique until you can summon it at will. Once you feel comfortable with that, we'll move on to something more advanced. Got it. Naruto nodded, determination etched on his face. He quickly began to concentrate, drawing on his chakra. He felt the familiar energy building up within him, igniting his spirit. Hours passed as he diligently practiced, and with each attempt, he became more skilled at manifesting the chains. The flickers of energy gradually turned into solid chains that extended from his palm. Every time he succeeded, he could feel Kushina's pride and encouragement pushing him forward. Great job, Naruto. You're getting better, she cheered, her excitement infectious. Just then, Mikoto arrived, her presence commanding yet calm. I see you're making progress, Naruto, she remarked, observing his training. Yeah. I'm really getting the hang of it, he said, beaming with pride. Good, she replied. Now it's time to work on your chakra reserves and control. Let's see if you can combine both techniques. Mikoto demonstrated a technique that combined the Sharingan with the Uzumaki chain technique. Her eyes transformed into the distinctive red with 3 tomo, and she extended a chain that moved with grace and precision, binding a nearby training dummy. Try to visualize your chakra as an extension of your will, Mikoto instructed. The Sharingan will help you see your opponent's movements, allowing you to predict their next actions. But first, you need to master the basic techniques. Naruto felt the weight of her expectations but was determined to rise to the occasion. He focused intently, summoning both techniques. As he activated the Uzumaki chain technique and tried to channel the chakra into his vision, he felt a surge of energy. "Come on, Naruto. You can do it," Kushina urged, her voice echoing in his mind. With a final push, Naruto activated the Sharingan, feeling the world around him shift. His senses heightened, and he could see every subtle movement of the training dummy in front of him. "Good. Now combine them," Mikoto encouraged. With a flick of his wrist, he summoned chains that shot forward, binding the dummy effortlessly. "Yes! I did it," he shouted, exhilaration bubbling within him. "Excellent work," Kushina praised, clapping her hands. "You're really starting to understand the connection between your abilities." However, the moment of triumph was short-lived. As Naruto reveled in his accomplishment, the atmosphere around them shifted. A dark presence loomed nearby, causing a chill to creep up his spine. "Do you feel that?" Mikoto asked, her voice steady but serious. Naruto nodded, his heart racing. "Yeah, something feels off." Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows of the forest. The person stepped into the clearing, cloaked in darkness, with an aura of malice that made the hairs on the back of Naruto's neck stand on end. Well, what do we have here?" the figure sneered, revealing a face that sent shivers down Naruto's spine. It was a rogue shinobi with a sinister grin, clearly not from Konoha. "You're in the wrong place, stranger," Kushina declared, stepping protectively in front of Naruto. "Leave now, and you won't get hurt." "Ah, but I'm not here to fight," the rogue replied mockingly. "I'm here for something much more valuable, the prince of the Uzumaki clan." Naruto felt a surge of anger. "I'm not afraid of you. What do you want with me?" The rogue laughed darkly. "You have no idea what power you hold, do you? The secrets of the Uzumaki clan could bring me unimaginable strength. Hand yourself over, and I might let your little friends go." "No way!" Naruto shouted defiantly. "I'll never give in to scum like you." Kushina and Mikoto exchanged glances, their expressions firm. "We won't let you take him," Kushina stated, her voice unwavering. With that, the tension in the air exploded. The rogue lunged forward, his movements swift and calculated, aiming to capture Naruto. Kushina reacted first, summoning her chakra chains to bind the rogue, but he was quick, dodging the initial attack. Mikoto activated her Sharingan, her eyes locking onto the rogue as she prepared to counter. "Get back, Naruto!" Mikoto commanded. Naruto, fueled by adrenaline, summoned his own chains. "No, I can help." With a fierce determination, he joined the fight, extending his chains to ensnare the rogue. Together, the three of them worked in harmony, each of their techniques complementing one another. As they fought, Naruto began to see the rogue's movements more clearly, anticipating his next steps thanks to the Sharingan. He was amazed at how his training had paid off, and his confidence grew with each passing moment. The rogue struggled against the combined might of the three shinobi, but he was relentless. "You think you can stop me? You have no idea who you're dealing with." With a sudden burst of energy, the rogue unleashed a powerful jutsu, sending a wave of dark chakra toward them. Naruto braced himself, instinctively calling upon his chains to protect his friends. "Chain barrier," he shouted, forming a protective shield of chakra that absorbed the rogue's attack. "Nice one, Naruto!" Kushina cheered, impressed by his quick thinking. But the rogue wasn't finished. He gritted his teeth, anger flaring in his eyes. I won't be defeated by a bunch of wannabes. I will claim the power of the Uzumaki. With a surge of rage, he charged at Naruto, but Mikoto stepped in front of him. You will not lay a hand on him. With a swift motion, she unleashed a series of fire-style jutsus, engulfing the rogue in flames. The rogue howled in pain but managed to escape the worst of the attack, his face contorted with fury. Your little tricks won't work on me, he growled, his eyes narrowing dangerously. As the battle raged on, Naruto felt the weight of his destiny pressing down on him. He couldn't let this rogue threaten the people he cared about. Drawing on the strength of his friends, he focused his chakra, combining the skills he had learned from both Kushina and Mikoto. Here goes nothing, he shouted, charging forward with newfound determination. The rogue laughed mockingly. You think you can take me on? You're just a child. Maybe so, Naruto replied, but I'm not going to let you hurt anyone. With that declaration, he unleashed a powerful wave of chakra, manifesting the Uzumaki chain technique like never before. The chains shimmered with energy, wrapping around the rogue and immobilizing him completely. No! Let me go, he screamed, struggling against the chains. Not a chance, Kushina said firmly, stepping forward. You're going to pay for your threats. With a final surge of energy, Naruto channeled all his chakra into the chains, tightening their grip. The rogue's struggles ceased as he succumbed to the overwhelming power of the Uzumaki legacy. Panting heavily, Naruto looked at Kushina and Mikoto, both of whom nodded in approval. You did well, Naruto, Mikoto praised, a proud smile on her face. I couldn't have done it without you too, he replied, grinning widely. Thanks for having my back. As the rogue lay defeated, the trio stood together, united by their shared strength and resolve. Naruto realized that he was not alone in this fight, he had allies who believed in him and would stand by his side against any threat. With the sun setting behind them, casting long shadows across the training ground, Naruto felt a sense of belonging. He was ready to embrace his identity as the hidden prince and face whatever challenges lay ahead. Chapter 4, Bond Strengthened. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm golden glow over Konoha. The air was filled with the sounds of evening, as villagers returned to their homes and the aroma of dinner wafted through the streets. But for Naruto, the day had been anything but ordinary. He stood in the training grounds with Kushina and Mikoto, the defeated rogue shinobi bound and subdued at their feet. Kushina glanced at the rogue, her expression resolute. What should we do with him now? We can't just leave him here, Mikoto replied, her gaze unwavering. He poses a threat to the village. We need to take him to the Hokage. Naruto stepped forward, feeling a surge of determination. I'll help. I won't let him escape again. As they worked together to restrain the rogue and prepare him for transport, Naruto felt a sense of pride swell within him. He had stood his ground, fought alongside two powerful women, and defended his friends and village. It was a turning point, a moment that would define his journey as the hidden prince. With the rogue securely tied, the trio made their way through the streets of Konoha. The village was alive with activity, and Naruto felt a sense of belonging wash over him. The villagers recognized him, not just as the prankster they once knew, but as a warrior with a purpose. As they approached the Hokage's office, Naruto's heart raced. He could feel the weight of his responsibilities pressing down on him, but he was ready to embrace his destiny. Inside the office, the atmosphere was serious. Tsunade, the fifth Hokage, looked up from her paperwork as they entered, her expression shifting from annoyance to concern upon seeing the rogue. What happened? She asked, her eyes narrowing. Why is he here? Naruto stepped forward, adrenaline still coursing through him. He attacked us while we were training. He wanted to capture me for my Uzumaki heritage. Tsunade's gaze flicked to the rogue, who glared defiantly. Is that so? And what did you intend to do with him? I wanted to stop him, Naruto replied, determination clear in his voice. I couldn't let him threaten Konoha or my friends. Tsunade nodded, her expression softening slightly. You did well, Naruto. This is a dangerous rogue, and your instincts to protect your friends are commendable. Kushina and Mikoto exchanged proud glances, and Naruto felt a surge of confidence. He had proven himself worthy. Not just as a shinobi, but as a protector of his village. As Tsunade ordered the guards to take the rogue away, Naruto couldn't shake the feeling of accomplishment. This was only the beginning of his journey, and he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The next day. The sun rose brightly the next morning, illuminating the village with a sense of hope and new beginnings. Naruto awoke with renewed energy, eager to continue his training. After a quick breakfast, he made his way to the training grounds, determined to refine his skills and master the techniques that would define his path as the Hidden Prince. As he arrived, he found Kushina waiting for him, her expression bright and encouraging. Ready for another day of training? She asked, her voice filled with enthusiasm. Absolutely, he exclaimed, a wide grin spreading across his face. What are we working on today? Kushina motioned for him to join her. I want to teach you how to combine the Uzumaki chain technique with other jutsu. It's important to learn how to use your abilities in unison. Naruto nodded eagerly, ready to take on the challenge. They began practicing, and as he focused on his chakra, he felt the familiar warmth enveloping him. Kushina guided him through the process, demonstrating how to weave his chains into other techniques. The key is to visualize the combination, she explained. Feel how the chakra flows and connect it to your will. As they trained, the sun climbed higher in the sky, casting shadows that danced across the ground. Naruto pushed himself harder, fueled by the encouragement from Kushina. He was determined to impress her, to show her that he could become a strong protector. Hours passed, and as he successfully combined the techniques, a sense of pride washed over him. I did it, he shouted, his excitement bubbling over. Great job. Kushina cheered, her smile radiant. You're really starting to get the hang of it. Just then, Mikoto arrived, her presence calm and composed. How's the training going? She asked, her dark eyes scanning the area. Fantastic. Naruto replied, unable to contain his enthusiasm. Kushina just taught me how to combine techniques. It feels amazing. Mikoto smiled slightly. That's good to hear. But remember, it's not just about power. It's also about strategy and understanding your opponents. Naruto nodded, taking her words to heart. He knew he had much to learn, and he was ready to embrace every lesson that came his way. As they continued training, they decided to focus on developing Naruto's combat strategies. Mikoto led a series of drills that required him to think critically about each move, to anticipate his opponent's actions, and to counter them effectively. Every battle is a game of chess, Naruto, Mikoto explained. You have to think several steps ahead and understand not just your own abilities but those of your opponent as well. Naruto absorbed her teachings, realizing the depth of her knowledge and the wisdom behind her words. He had always focused on raw power, but now he saw the importance of strategy in becoming a true warrior. After hours of intense training, the sun began to set, casting a golden hue over the village. Naruto felt a sense of satisfaction wash over him. He was no longer just the boy looking for recognition, he was becoming a formidable shinobi, one who was learning the importance of both power and strategy. As they wrapped up for the day, Naruto turned to Kushina and Mikoto. Thank you both for your guidance. I couldn't have done it without you. Kushina smiled warmly. You've come a long way, Naruto. We're proud of you. Mikoto nodded in agreement. Remember, this is just the beginning. There will be challenges ahead, and you must be prepared to face them. With renewed determination, Naruto looked between the two women. I won't let you down. I'll train harder and become stronger. As they made their way back to the village, Naruto felt a sense of belonging. He was not just a lone shinobi, he had allies, mentors, and friends who believed in him. With Kushina and Mikoto by his side, he was ready to embrace his identity as the hidden prince and face the challenges that awaited him. Chapter 5, A New Challenge. The sun shone brightly over Konoha as the village awakened to a new day. Naruto stood at the training grounds, the familiar sounds of birds chirping and villagers bustling around him filling the air with energy. Today felt different, there was a palpable sense of anticipation as he prepared for a new challenge. After yesterday's training session, he felt invigorated. With every technique he learned, every battle he fought, he grew stronger, and he was determined to prove himself worthy of the legacy he had discovered. Kushina arrived first, her expression bright and encouraging. Good morning, Naruto. Are you ready for another day of training? Absolutely, he replied, a grin spreading across his face. I've been thinking about how to combine the techniques we practiced yesterday. Great. But today, I want to focus on something different, Kushina said, crossing her arms with a thoughtful expression. We'll work on your defensive strategies. It's important to know how to protect yourself and your allies. Naruto nodded, ready to absorb whatever knowledge she had to offer. Sounds good. What's first? Let's start with some basic defensive techniques, Kushina replied. I want you to learn how to create a chakra shield and utilize your surroundings for defense. This will help you when facing multiple opponents. Naruto focused intently, channeling his chakra. As he visualized the shield forming around him, he felt a surge of energy. In front of him, a transparent barrier began to take shape, shimmering in the sunlight. Good. Keep it steady, Kushina encouraged, her eyes sparkling with pride. Now, try to expand it to cover a wider area. He concentrated, pushing his chakra outward. The shield expanded, enveloping a larger space around him. It flickered momentarily but held firm. Excellent. You're a natural at this. Kushina exclaimed, clapping her hands together. Now, let's put it to the test. At that moment, Mikoto joined them, her presence commanding and focused. What's the plan for today? She asked, glancing at the barrier Naruto had created. Kushina is helping me work on my defensive techniques, he replied, excitement evident in his voice. I want to be ready for anything. Mikoto smiled slightly, her expression approving. That's a good mindset. Defense is just as important as offense. Let's see how well you can handle some real challenges. As they continued training, Mikoto set up a series of obstacles for Naruto to navigate while maintaining his barrier. She threw shuriken and other projectiles toward him, testing his reflexes and ability to adapt. Remember, Naruto, your shield won't protect you if you're not aware of your surroundings, Mikoto instructed, her voice steady as she demonstrated how to combine evasion with defense. Naruto focused intently, dodging and weaving as he maintained his chakra shield. The projectiles whizzed past him, and with each successful evasion, his confidence grew. Keep it up. Kushina shouted, her encouragement driving him forward. You're doing great. After an intense session, they paused for a break. Naruto leaned against a nearby tree, panting but exhilarated. That was awesome. I can feel myself getting stronger. Kushina smiled, her eyes warm. You've come a long way, Naruto. But there's still much to learn. We'll continue building on these skills. As they rested, Naruto looked between Kushina and Mikoto, feeling grateful for their guidance. Thanks for believing in me. I really appreciate it. Mikoto crossed her arms, her expression thoughtful. We see your potential, Naruto. But remember, strength isn't just about power, it's also about knowing when to fight and when to hold back. Naruto nodded, absorbing her words. I get it. I won't let my pride get in the way. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from the direction of the village. The trio exchanged glances, concern etched on their faces. What was that? Naruto asked, his heart racing. Let's check it out, Kushina suggested, her tone serious. They rushed toward the source of the noise, and as they arrived, they were met with chaos. A group of rogue shinobi had infiltrated the village, causing destruction and panic among the villagers. We need to help. Naruto shouted, adrenaline surging through him. Stick together and stay focused. Mikoto commanded, her demeanor shifting into one of leadership. Kushina nodded, her expression resolute. We'll take them down, one by one. Naruto, remember what you learned today. Use your defenses strategically. As they engaged the rogue shinobi, Naruto felt the weight of his training coming to fruition. He combined the defensive techniques he had just learned with the offensive skills he had developed over time. With a swift motion, he summoned his chakra chains, binding one of the rogue shinobi as he charged at him. Got you, he yelled, determination blazing in his eyes. Kushina and Mikoto fought alongside him, their movements fluid and synchronized. They worked as a team, each of them covering the other's weaknesses while exploiting the enemy's vulnerabilities. Stay close, Naruto. Kushina called as they dodged an incoming attack. We need to protect the villagers. Naruto nodded, feeling the weight of their shared mission. They worked tirelessly, battling the rogue shinobi who had dared to disrupt the peace of Konoha. The adrenaline surged through him as he fought with all his might, channeling the strength he had gained from Kushina and Mikoto. As the battle raged on, Naruto found himself facing one of the rogue leaders. The shinobi was powerful, and he could feel the intensity of their clash. Is this the best the Uzumaki can do? The rogue sneered, his eyes glinting with malice. I expected more from a prince. Naruto's resolve hardened. I won't let you harm anyone. I'll protect my village. With that declaration, he summoned all his chakra, combining it with the chains he had trained with. The chains glowed with energy as he launched them toward the rogue, binding him tightly. You think you can defeat me? The rogue growled, struggling against the chains. Yes. And I will. Naruto shouted back, pushing himself to summon even more chakra. In that moment, he felt the weight of his friend's belief in him, the legacy of the Uzumaki clan flowing through him. The chains tightened, and with a final surge of energy, he overpowered the rogue, forcing him to submit. With the rogue shinobi defeated, the remaining enemies began to retreat, realizing they were outmatched. Don't let them escape. Mikoto shouted, her voice cutting through the chaos. As the battle came to a close, Naruto stood alongside Kushina and Mikoto, catching his breath. The villagers emerged from their hiding places, expressions of gratitude and relief washing over their faces. You did it, Naruto. Kushina exclaimed, her pride shining through. You protected the village. I couldn't have done it without you too, he replied, his heart swelling with gratitude. Mikoto nodded, a faint smile on her lips. You've proven yourself today. You're growing stronger with each challenge. As the sun set over Konoha, Naruto realized that he was no longer just the prankster seeking recognition. He had become a protector, a warrior, and a prince in every sense of the word. With his friends by his side, he was ready to embrace whatever lay ahead. Chapter 6, Aftermath and New Beginnings. The sun had fully set, casting Konoha in a soft twilight glow. The villagers emerged from their homes, witnessing the aftermath of the battle. Although there was fear in their eyes, there was also a sense of gratitude. Naruto, Kushina, and Mikoto stood together, catching their breath after the intense confrontation with the rogue shinobi. Are you all okay? Naruto asked, concern etching his features as he looked at his friends. Kushina nodded, brushing a few strands of hair from her face. We're fine, thanks to you. You fought brilliantly, Naruto. Mikoto, her eyes scanning the village for any remaining threats, replied, "You've proven that you can hold your own. But we need to ensure the village is safe and that these rogue shinobi don't return." As the villagers began to gather around, murmurs of admiration and respect filled the air. Naruto felt a swell of pride. He was no longer just the mischievous boy seeking attention, he had become a protector of the village. "Thank you, Naruto," a young boy exclaimed, his eyes shining with admiration. "You were amazing out there." The boy's words struck a chord within Naruto. He smiled, feeling the warmth of their appreciation. "I just did what any shinobi would do," he replied, trying to downplay his role. But Kushina stepped forward, placing a hand on Naruto's shoulder. "No, you did something remarkable. You defended this village, and that's something to be proud of." With the immediate threat neutralized, Tsunade, the fifth Hokage, approached the trio. "Excellent work, everyone," she said, her tone serious yet appreciative. "But we can't let our guard down. We need to discuss what happened and how to prevent future attacks." Naruto nodded, his resolve returning. "I'll do whatever it takes to protect Konoha." Tsunade gestured for them to follow her into the Hokage's office. Inside, the atmosphere was tense as they convened to discuss their next steps. Tsunade laid out the details of the rogue shinobi they had encountered, revealing that they were part of a larger group threatening various hidden villages. "We need to gather intelligence on these rogue shinobi and their motives," Tsunade explained. "Naruto, your recent display of power has drawn attention. We must ensure that you are prepared for whatever comes next." Mikoto nodded, her expression thoughtful. "Training is essential. We need to strengthen our defenses and increase our tactical abilities. Naruto has potential, but we must help him harness it." Kushina agreed, her eyes sparkling with determination. "I'll help him with that. We'll focus on enhancing his techniques and ensuring he's ready for any challenges ahead." Tsunade looked at Naruto, a serious expression on her face. "I want you to train harder than ever, Naruto. Your abilities are crucial to the village's safety, and you must understand the weight of that responsibility." "Understood, Tsunade." Naruto replied, determination flooding his voice. As they finished their meeting, Tsunade gave them a reassuring smile. "We'll work together to make Konoha stronger. But for now, I suggest you all take a moment to recover and reflect on the battle." The next day, training continues. The following morning, Naruto awoke with renewed determination. The events of the previous day had ignited a fire within him, and he was eager to continue his training. After a quick breakfast, he made his way to the training grounds, where he found Kushina already waiting for him. "Ready to train?" she asked, her enthusiasm infectious. "Always." Naruto replied, feeling a surge of excitement. "Today, we'll focus on combining your jutsu with what you learned from Mikoto about strategy," Kushina said. "It's time to take your skills to the next level." Naruto nodded eagerly, ready to absorb every lesson. They began with a series of exercises designed to test his chakra control and adaptability. As he practiced, he felt the presence of Kushina guiding him, helping him refine his techniques. After several hours of rigorous training, Naruto took a break, panting but exhilarated. "I feel like I'm getting stronger every day," he exclaimed. "You are, and it shows," Kushina replied, a proud smile on her face. "But remember, it's not just about raw strength. You need to think strategically during battle." As they continued, Mikoto joined them, her presence commanding yet calming. "How's the training going?" she asked, her dark eyes assessing Naruto's progress. "Great. I'm starting to understand how to combine my techniques better," he replied, enthusiasm evident in his voice. "Good. Today, we'll work on applying that knowledge in simulated combat," Mikoto suggested, her voice steady. "I'll create scenarios for you to practice your strategies. Naruto felt a thrill of anticipation at the thought of real combat training. He had learned a lot from both Kushina and Mikoto, and he was eager to put that knowledge into practice. As they began the combat simulations, Mikoto set up various scenarios, challenging Naruto to think critically about his moves. The first scenario involved defending against multiple attackers while protecting an ally. Remember, you need to stay aware of your surroundings, Mikoto instructed. Anticipate their movements and adapt your strategies. Naruto nodded, focusing intently. As the simulation began, he found himself facing several training dummies, each representing an opponent. He concentrated, summoning his chakra and activating his Uzumaki chain technique. With fluid movements, he extended the chains, binding the first dummy while evading another's attack. The simulation pushed him to think strategically, and with each successful maneuver, he felt his confidence growing. Kushina watched from the sidelines, her expression filled with pride. "You're doing great, Naruto. Keep it up." As he finished the first simulation, he felt exhilarated. "That was awesome. I think I'm starting to get the hang of this." "Let's try another scenario," Mikoto said, her tone serious. "This time, you'll face a more powerful opponent. You'll need to combine your offense and defense seamlessly." With renewed determination, Naruto prepared for the next challenge. As the simulation commenced, he focused on combining his techniques, drawing on everything he had learned. The opponent was a training dummy rigged with advanced sensors, designed to simulate a real battle experience. It moved swiftly, and Naruto had to anticipate its strikes, countering with his chains while maintaining a solid defense. "Stay focused," Mikoto called out as he weaved through the dummy's attacks. "Use your environment to your advantage." With her guidance, Naruto found a rhythm, dodging attacks and retaliating with precision. The adrenaline coursed through his veins, and he felt the exhilaration of battle, the thrill of testing his limits and pushing beyond them. As he finally subdued the training dummy, he couldn't help but grin. "I did it. That was intense." Kushina and Mikoto exchanged proud glances, both impressed by his progress. "Excellent work, Naruto," Kushina said, stepping forward. "You've really come a long way." Mikoto nodded in agreement, her expression approving. "But remember, there's always room for improvement. Keep practicing, and you'll continue to grow stronger." With each passing day, Naruto felt the bonds between him and his mentors deepening. He realized that his journey was not just about power, it was about understanding the importance of connection and teamwork. With Kushina and Mikoto by his side, he felt invincible. An unexpected visitor. Just as they finished their training session, a commotion erupted nearby. Naruto and his mentors turned to see a group of villagers gathered around, their faces filled with concern. "What's going on?" Naruto asked, rushing over with Kushina and Mikoto at his side. A villager stepped forward, panic in his eyes. "There's been an attack on the outskirts of the village. A group of rogue shinobi has appeared again." Naruto's heart raced at the news. "We have to help," he exclaimed, adrenaline pumping through him. Kushina placed a hand on his shoulder. "Stay calm, Naruto. We'll assess the situation first and then act." Mikoto nodded, her expression serious. "We need to gather information before rushing in. Let's see if we can find out how many attackers there are and what their intentions might be." As they made their way to the outskirts, Naruto felt the weight of his responsibilities pressing down on him. He was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, not just for himself, but for the village he had sworn to protect. As they approached the commotion, the sight before them confirmed their worst fears. A group of rogue shinobi stood in the middle of the village square, wreaking havoc and instilling fear among the villagers. "Get back!" Naruto shouted, his heart racing as he stepped forward. "We won't let you hurt anyone." The leader of the rogue shinobi turned, a sinister smile spreading across his face. Ah, the prince of the Uzumaki clan has come to play. How delightful. Step away from the villagers. Kushina commanded, her tone fierce. Naruto felt a surge of power within him as he prepared to protect those around him. With his friends by his side, he was ready to face whatever danger lay ahead. Chapter 7. Confrontation at Dusk. The atmosphere in Konoha was charged with tension as Naruto, Kushina, and Mikoto stood their ground against the rogue shinobi. The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows across the village square. Villagers hurried to find safety, their frightened faces reflecting the urgency of the moment. Naruto stepped forward, determination etched on his face. "We won't let you hurt anyone," he declared, his voice steady and strong. The leader of the rogue shinobi laughed darkly, a mocking tone in his voice. "You think you can protect this village? You're just a child playing at being a prince." Kushina's eyes narrowed, her protective instincts kicking in. "Don't underestimate him. He's stronger than you think." Mikoto moved closer to Naruto, her presence steadying him. "Stay focused. We need to work together to take them down." The rogue leader smirked, gesturing to his comrades. "Let's see what you can do, then. Take them down." With that command, the rogue shinobi lunged forward, and chaos erupted. Naruto's heart raced as he prepared to fight. He activated his Uzumaki chain technique, summoning the chains of chakra that had become an extension of himself. "Chains, bind them," he shouted, launching the chains toward the nearest rogue shinobi. They ensnared their target, immobilizing him in a shimmering embrace. "Good job, Naruto." Kushina cheered, her voice cutting through the chaos. She moved into action, using her own techniques to fend off another attacker, her movements fluid and powerful. Mikoto activated her Sharingan, her eyes glowing red as she assessed the battlefield. "Naruto, stay aware of your surroundings. I'll take the one on your left." As the battle unfolded, Naruto felt the exhilaration of combat rushing through him. He was no longer just a boy seeking recognition, he was a warrior, fighting to protect his home. With a burst of energy, he channeled chakra into his chains, binding another rogue shinobi. The leader glared at him, frustration evident on his face. "You're persistent, I'll give you that. But you're still outnumbered." Naruto grinned, determination blazing in his blue eyes. "I don't fight alone." Just then, he caught sight of a group of villagers watching from a distance, their faces filled with hope. That realization fueled his resolve even further. He would protect them at all costs. Kushina fought valiantly beside him, her chains dancing through the air as they ensnared yet another enemy. "Keep pushing, Naruto. We're making progress." Mikoto moved gracefully, her Sharingan enabling her to predict her opponent's moves. "Focus on their leader. If we take him down, the rest will falter." With their combined efforts, they pressed forward. Naruto and his mentors fought with synchronization, their techniques blending seamlessly as they worked together to subdue the rogue shinobi. "Let's finish this." Mikoto shouted, and Naruto nodded, ready to unleash the full extent of his power. "Rasengan," he yelled, charging at the leader with a spiral of chakra in hand. The rogue shinobi attempted to dodge, but Kushina's chains wrapped around him, immobilizing him in place. "Now!" Kushina commanded, and Naruto thrust the Rasengan forward, striking the rogue leader with immense force. The rogue howled in pain as he staggered backward, the impact of the attack knocking him off balance. "You'll pay for this," he screamed, desperation filling his voice. "Not today," Naruto declared, summoning his chains again. With a decisive motion, he bound the leader tightly, ensuring he couldn't escape. As the leader struggled against the chains, Naruto felt a sense of triumph. "We did it. We protected the village." Kushina and Mikoto joined him, their expressions filled with pride. "You fought bravely, Naruto," Mikoto said, her voice steady. Kushina nodded, beaming at him. You've truly grown stronger. I'm proud to call you my student. But the rogue leader was not finished yet. You think this is over? He snarled, a sinister grin spreading across his face. You have no idea what's coming. With that, he activated a hidden technique, a dark jutsu that began to envelop him in shadows. The air grew heavy, and a sense of foreboding washed over the trio. No! Naruto shouted, alarmed. What is he doing? He's trying to summon reinforcements. Mikoto warned, her expression grave. We need to stop him. Without hesitation, Naruto surged forward, channeling his chakra into the chains binding the rogue leader. You won't get the chance. Kushina and Mikoto joined him, focusing their energies on the rogue leader. Together, they combined their techniques, creating a powerful barrier that surrounded him. Now, Naruto! Kushina shouted. Use your chakra to overwhelm him. With a surge of determination, Naruto unleashed his chakra, pouring every ounce of energy into the chains. They glowed with power, intensifying as they absorbed the rogue leader's dark energy. No! This can't be happening, the rogue cried out, panic setting in as he struggled against their combined might. With one final push, the chains tightened around him, consuming the darkness and banishing it from the battlefield. The rogue leader was finally subdued, collapsing to the ground in defeat. As the dust settled, Naruto looked around at the gathered villagers, their faces a mix of awe and gratitude. He felt a swell of pride as they began to cheer, their voices echoing in the air. We did it, he shouted, his heart racing with excitement. We protected Konoha. Kushina and Mikoto joined him, their smiles radiant. You've truly become a protector, Naruto, Kushina said, her eyes shining with pride. Together, we've shown that we won't back down in the face of danger, Mikoto added, her tone steady. But this is just the beginning. We must remain vigilant. As they gathered their breath and tended to the aftermath of the battle, Naruto realized that he was no longer just a boy searching for recognition. He was becoming a leader, someone who could inspire hope and strength in others. With Kushina and Mikoto by his side, he felt ready to face any challenge that lay ahead. The bonds they shared had grown deeper, forged in the fires of battle. And as the sun began to rise once more, casting its warm light over the village, Naruto knew that this was just the beginning of his journey as the Hidden Prince. Chapter 8, Reflections and Resilience. The sun rose over Konoha, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink. Naruto stood on the training grounds, feeling the warmth of the light embrace him. After the intense battle against the rogue shinobi, he had a lot on his mind. The victory had been hard-earned, but it left a lingering sense of urgency. They had defeated one threat, but the rogue leader's last words haunted him, you have no idea what's coming. Kushina and Mikoto joined him, their expressions reflecting the seriousness of the situation. Good morning, Naruto, Kushina said, her tone steady. How are you feeling after yesterday's battle? Honestly? I'm a bit shaken, he admitted, his brow furrowing. I never expected something like that to happen. It's like, we're in constant danger. Mikoto nodded, her eyes scanning the horizon. The world of shinobi is full of threats. It's our duty to be prepared for anything. But remember, you've grown stronger, and you're not alone. Naruto appreciated her words, but doubt still lingered in his heart. What if we face a bigger threat next time? What if I'm not strong enough? Kushina stepped closer, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. You are strong, Naruto. You've proven that time and time again. But strength alone isn't enough. You must also learn strategy and adaptability. As they prepared for training, Naruto's determination began to return. You're right. Let's work on those strategies today. Good, Mikoto replied, a faint smile appearing on her lips. Today, we'll focus on simulated combat scenarios. I'll create different situations for you to navigate, and you'll need to think critically about your decisions. Naruto felt a thrill of excitement at the challenge. I'm ready. Training begins. As they started their training, Mikoto set up various scenarios, each designed to test Naruto's strategic thinking. The first simulation involved a team of rogue shinobi attacking a convoy. And Naruto had to devise a plan to protect the villagers while neutralizing the threat. Think carefully, Mikoto instructed. You need to consider the strengths and weaknesses of both your allies and your opponents. Naruto nodded, focusing on the task at hand. He visualized the convoy being attacked, mentally mapping out the positions of both the defenders and the attackers. If we divide our forces, we can flank them and catch them off guard. Good thinking. Kushina encouraged, her voice filled with enthusiasm. But make sure to keep your defenses strong. You don't want any of the villagers to get hurt. With that in mind, Naruto devised a plan. He instructed Kushina to create a barrier around the convoy while he and Mikoto moved to engage the attackers. As they enacted the scenario, Naruto felt the adrenaline coursing through him. He and Mikoto worked in perfect harmony, combining their techniques to outmaneuver the rogue shinobi. He summoned his chains, binding one of the attackers while Mikoto utilized her Sharingan to predict their moves. Nice work, Naruto. Keep it up. Mikoto called out, her voice steady and encouraging. The simulation continued, and with each successful encounter, Naruto felt his confidence growing. He was learning to think strategically, understanding how to combine his strengths with those of his allies. After several rounds of training, they paused to regroup. You're doing well, Naruto, Mikoto said, her tone filled with pride. But remember, strategy can change in an instant. Always be ready to adapt. Naruto nodded, feeling the weight of her words. I'll remember that. The gathering storm. As they finished their training for the day, the atmosphere shifted. Dark clouds gathered on the horizon, a storm brewing in the distance. The air grew heavy with tension, and Naruto felt an unease settle in his stomach. Looks like we're in for some rain, Kushina remarked, glancing at the sky. But let's not let that dampen our spirits. Just then, a villager rushed onto the training grounds, panic etched across their face. Kushina. Mikoto. Naruto. There's trouble at the village entrance. What happened? Naruto asked, his heart racing. Rogue shinobi. They're back, and they're demanding to see the prince of the Uzumaki clan, the villager exclaimed. Naruto's blood ran cold. They can't be serious. He looked at Kushina and Mikoto, their expressions reflecting the urgency of the situation. We need to act quickly, Mikoto said, her voice firm. Gather your strength and prepare for battle. We can't let them intimidate us. As they rushed toward the village entrance, Naruto's heart pounded in his chest. He was ready to face whatever threat lay ahead, but doubt still flickered in his mind. Would he be strong enough to protect his village this time? As they reached the entrance, a group of rogue shinobi stood waiting, their expressions hostile and challenging. The leader stepped forward, his eyes gleaming with malice. Where is the prince? He demanded, his tone dripping with arrogance. I have a message for him. Naruto stepped forward, his determination surging. I'm right here. What do you want? The rogue leader smirked, clearly unfazed by Naruto's defiance. We're not here to fight. Not yet, anyway. We want to extend an invitation to join us. The power of the Uzumaki clan could be ours for the taking. Kushina and Mikoto exchanged worried glances. Don't listen to him, Naruto, Kushina warned. This is just a ploy to weaken us. Join you? I would never. Naruto shouted, anger boiling within him. You think you can intimidate me? I won't back down. The rogue leader chuckled, clearly enjoying the spectacle. You're brave, but bravery alone won't protect you. Your power will be ours, one way or another. With that, he signaled his comrades, and the rogue shinobi prepared to attack. Get ready, Naruto. Mikoto shouted, activating her Sharingan. Naruto summoned his chakra, ready to unleash the Uzumaki chain technique. This was it, the moment he had been training for. With Kushina and Mikoto by his side, he would protect his village, no matter the cost. As the battle commenced, Naruto felt a surge of adrenaline. He was no longer just the boy searching for recognition, he was a protector, a warrior, and a prince. With each attack, he fought not just for himself but for the future of Konoha and everyone he cared about. Chapter 9, Battle for Konoha. The tension in the air was palpable as the rogue shinobi prepared to attack. Naruto stood at the forefront, flanked by Kushina and Mikoto, his heart racing with determination. He had trained tirelessly for moments like this, and now it was time to prove himself as a protector of Konoha. Remember what we practiced. Kushina urged, her voice steady. Focus on teamwork and use your strengths. Right. Naruto shouted, summoning his chakra. He felt the familiar warmth coursing through him, grounding him in the moment. He glanced at Mikoto, who was already assessing the battlefield, her Sharingan activated and keen. The rogue leader smirked, confidence radiating from him. You're all brave, but bravery won't save you. Let's see how long you can hold out. With a swift motion, the rogue leader lunged forward, leading his comrades into battle. Naruto acted instinctively, launching his Uzumaki chain technique to bind the first attacker. The chains shot out like lightning, wrapping around the rogue and immobilizing him. Got one. Naruto shouted, exhilarated by the rush of combat. Kushina took advantage of the distraction, using her chakra to launch a powerful wave of energy at another rogue shinobi. Stay focused, Naruto. We need to keep them from overwhelming us. Mikoto darted to the side, her movements precise as she engaged another enemy. Naruto, watch out. Behind you. Reacting quickly, Naruto spun around just in time to see another rogue attacking from his blind spot. He summoned his chains again, creating a barrier to deflect the attack. The rogue's weapon clashed against the chains, sending a jolt of energy through Naruto. Nice reflexes. Kushina praised, but there was no time to celebrate. The rogue leader, undeterred by their initial defenses, charged forward with renewed fury. You think you can stop me? You're nothing but children playing at being warriors. Naruto gritted his teeth, refusing to let the leader's taunts shake his resolve. We're not just children. We're defenders of this village. As the battle intensified, Naruto began to feel the adrenaline coursing through his veins. He could see his friends fighting valiantly beside him, their strength and determination inspiring him to push beyond his limits. Kushina called out, "Let's work together, Naruto. Combine our techniques." Right, he shouted, channeling his chakra. He focused on the connection between them, envisioning how their powers could merge. With a determined shout, he unleashed his chains while Kushina prepared her powerful jutsu. The two techniques intertwined, creating a brilliant display of energy that surged toward the rogue leader. Now! Kushina yelled as the combined attack struck the rogue leader head-on. The force of their abilities sent the rogue leader staggering back, but he quickly regained his footing, anger flaring in his eyes. You think that's enough to defeat me? You'll pay for this. With renewed ferocity, he charged at Naruto, who stood his ground, determination hardening his resolve. He could feel the weight of the battle, but he refused to back down. Let's finish this. Naruto shouted, summoning all his chakra for one final attack. Just then, Mikoto moved to intercept, her Sharingan focusing intently on the rogue leader's movements. Naruto, distract him. I'll end this. With a nod, Naruto sprang into action, using his chains to create an illusion of multiple attackers. "Look over here," he yelled, drawing the rogue's attention. As the rogue leader was momentarily distracted by the chains, Mikoto seized the opportunity. "Fire style, Phoenix Fire Jutsu," she called out, unleashing a barrage of fireballs aimed directly at the rogue leader. The fire engulfed the area, and for a moment, the world around them felt silent. Naruto watched in awe as the flames danced, creating a mesmerizing display of power. As the fire cleared, the rogue leader staggered back, clearly injured and furious. "You think this will stop me? I will have my revenge," he screamed, but there was a tremor in his voice that betrayed his fear. "Not if we have anything to say about it," Kushina shouted, stepping forward alongside Naruto and Mikoto. With their combined strength, they unleashed one final attack. Naruto summoned his chains once more, wrapping them around the rogue leader tightly. "This ends now." "Uzumaki chain technique, binding stranglehold," he shouted, channeling every ounce of chakra he had into the chains. They glowed brightly, constricting the rogue leader as he struggled in vain. "Enough," the rogue leader cried, the confidence in his voice fading. "I yield." With those words, the rogue leader fell to his knees, defeated and bound by their combined strength. The tension that had filled the air dissipated, replaced by the sounds of relief from the villagers who had witnessed the battle unfold. Naruto, Kushina, and Mikoto stood together, breathing heavily but triumphant. The villagers began to gather around them, expressions of gratitude and admiration on their faces. "You did it," a villager exclaimed, eyes wide with awe. "You protected us." Naruto felt a warmth spread through his chest at the praise. "We couldn't have done it without each other," he replied, glancing at Kushina and Mikoto. Tsunade appeared from behind the crowd, her expression serious yet approving. "Well done, everyone. You've proven that Konoha's strength lies in its unity. We'll need to ensure that this rogue leader is held accountable and that the village is safe from further threats." As the crowd cheered and the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over Konoha, Naruto felt a surge of hope. He had faced danger and emerged victorious, not just as a shinobi but as a leader, someone who could inspire others to stand strong. Kushina and Mikoto approached him, their expressions filled with pride. "You fought bravely today, Naruto," Kushina said, her eyes shining. "You truly are becoming the prince of the Uzumaki clan." "Thank you, Kushina," he replied, his heart swelling with gratitude. "I couldn't have done it without you." Mikoto nodded, her expression thoughtful. "Remember, this victory is just one step on your journey. There will be more challenges ahead, but as long as you stay true to yourself and your allies, you will continue to grow stronger." As the villagers celebrated their victory, Naruto looked out over Konoha, feeling the weight of his responsibilities and the strength of his allies beside him. With Kushina and Mikoto at his side, he was ready to face whatever came next. Chapter 10, Strength in Unity. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the warm hues of orange and pink bathed Konoha in a serene glow. The sounds of laughter and chatter echoed through the streets, the villagers emerging from their homes to celebrate the victory over the rogue shinobi. It was a moment of triumph, but for Naruto, the weight of responsibility still lingered in the air. Standing in the village square, he felt the adrenaline from the battle coursing through him. The cheers and applause from the villagers were a welcome sound, but deep down, he knew that this victory was only a stepping stone in his journey. With Kushina and Mikoto by his side, he had proven himself as a protector, but the words of the rogue leader haunted him, "You have no idea what's coming." Kushina approached him, her crimson hair catching the last rays of sunlight. "You did well today, Naruto. I'm proud of you," she said, her voice filled with warmth. "Thanks, Kushina. But I feel like I still have so much to learn," he replied, glancing around at the jubilant crowd. Mikoto joined them, her dark eyes reflecting the joy around them. Every battle teaches us something new. You've grown stronger, but there will always be challenges ahead. We need to be ready for whatever comes next. As they spoke, Sakura and Ino pushed through the crowd, their expressions bright with excitement. Naruto! Sakura called, rushing up to him. That was amazing. You really showed them. Ino chimed in, her usual confidence radiating. You had everyone on the edge of their seats. I mean, who knew you had it in you? She smirked playfully, her eyes sparkling with admiration. Naruto scratched the back of his head, feeling a bit shy under their praise. I couldn't have done it without Kushina and Mikoto, he replied, gesturing to his mentors. Still, you fought like a true warrior. Sakura insisted, her cheeks flushed with enthusiasm. And you were so cool with those chains. Right? You looked like you were in control the whole time, Ino added, crossing her arms with a grin. If anyone can handle being a prince, it's you. The light-hearted banter lifted Naruto's spirits, reminding him of the bonds he had formed with his friends. Thanks, you guys. It means a lot to hear that, he said, his confidence rekindled. Just then, Hinata emerged from the crowd, her lavender eyes wide with admiration. Naruto-kun, you were incredible. I was so scared, but you protected everyone. Naruto felt warmth spread through him at her words. I just did what I had to do. I couldn't let anything happen to the village, he replied, his voice sincere. Kushina smiled at the interaction, seeing the bond between Naruto and his friends growing stronger. You all make a great team. Remember that when challenges arise, you can rely on each other. As the celebration continued, the atmosphere shifted slightly. The villagers were grateful, but a sense of unease lingered. They knew the rogue shinobi wouldn't be the last threat they faced. Let's regroup, Mikoto said, her tone serious. We need to discuss our next steps. We can't let our guard down. Planning for the future. Later that evening, the three of them gathered in a quiet corner of the village, away from the noise of the celebration. Naruto, Kushina, and Mikoto sat together, the weight of the upcoming challenges hanging in the air. We need to strengthen our defenses, Mikoto began, her expression serious. The rogue shinobi were clearly just the beginning. We can't afford to be caught off guard again. I agree, Kushina said, crossing her arms. We should train even harder. Naruto, you need to master your techniques and learn new ones to be prepared for any situation. Naruto nodded, determination flickering in his blue eyes. I'll train harder than ever. I want to be strong enough to protect everyone. And it wouldn't hurt to involve everyone in our training, Mikoto suggested. The more prepared the entire village is, the better. Good idea. Naruto exclaimed. Let's get everyone together. The whole team should train as one. As they discussed their plans, Sakura, Ino, and Hinata joined them, eager to contribute. What do you need us to do? Sakura asked, her enthusiasm palpable. We're planning to increase our training sessions and strengthen our defenses, Kushina explained. We'll need all of you to be ready. I'm in. Ino said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Let's show those rogue shinobi what we're made of. Hinata nodded, her voice soft yet firm. I want to help protect Konoha too. Naruto felt a rush of gratitude at the support from his friends. Thank you, everyone. Together, we can make a difference. As the group discussed their plans, the sun slowly set, casting a warm glow over the village. The sense of camaraderie grew stronger, binding them together as they prepared for the challenges ahead. Training begins. The next day, they gathered at the training grounds, the air thick with anticipation. Villagers of all ages came to participate, motivated by the desire to protect their home. Let's divide into teams. Naruto called out, his enthusiasm infectious. We'll work on various techniques and strategies to strengthen our defenses. Kushina and Mikoto stood by his side, guiding the teams and offering their expertise. The training began, with each group focusing on different aspects of combat, offensive techniques, defensive maneuvers, and teamwork exercises. Naruto felt the energy around him as he moved through the training sessions, pushing himself to improve. He worked alongside his friends, laughing and encouraging one another as they honed their skills. "Come on, Naruto. You can do better than that," Sakura teased, her playful demeanor lifting his spirits. "Just you wait," he replied, determination surging within him. He summoned his chains, practicing the Uzumaki chain technique with renewed vigor. As they trained, the bonds between them deepened. Naruto felt the weight of his responsibilities, but he was no longer alone. With Kushina, Mikoto, and his friends by his side, he was ready to face any challenge that lay ahead. A new threat looms. As the days turned into weeks, the training sessions continued, each one strengthening the bonds of friendship and resilience. The villagers became more confident, and Naruto felt a sense of pride in their progress. But just as they began to feel secure, a new threat loomed on the horizon. One evening, as the sun set and cast long shadows over the village, a messenger arrived with urgent news. "Hokage-sama," the messenger called out, rushing into the gathering of villagers. "There's been a sighting of a large group of rogue shinobi approaching Konoha. They're more organized and better equipped than the last group." The atmosphere shifted instantly, tension rising among the crowd. Naruto's heart raced as he exchanged worried glances with Kushina and Mikoto. "We need to prepare," Mikoto commanded, her tone sharp and unwavering. "Gather everyone and reinforce the defenses." Naruto felt the adrenaline surge within him. This was it, this was the moment he had been training for. "We won't let them take our home," he shouted, rallying the villagers. As they rushed to prepare for the impending battle, Naruto couldn't shake the feeling of urgency. He had faced danger before, but this time, he had a village to protect, and he would not let them down. With determination burning in his heart, he stood alongside his friends, ready to face the approaching storm together. Chapter 11, The Gathering Storm. As the last rays of sunlight dipped below the horizon, Konoha was enveloped in a mix of shadows and twilight. The day had been filled with a sense of triumph following their victory over the rogue shinobi, but deep down, Naruto could feel a chill in the air that hinted at the challenges to come. Victory was sweet, but the words of the rogue leader echoed in his mind, "You have no idea what's coming." Standing on the edge of the village square, Naruto felt a surge of determination. He was no longer just the boy seeking recognition, he was becoming a protector, a leader. As the villagers began to gather, their faces illuminated with gratitude and hope, he realized the gravity of his responsibility. It was no longer just about him, it was about everyone in Konoha. "Everyone, listen up," Naruto called out, his voice cutting through the murmurs of the crowd. "We need to stay vigilant. The rogue shinobi may come back, and we have to be prepared." Kushina joined him, her presence strong and reassuring. "We have to reinforce our defenses and train together. We can't let fear take hold. Instead, let's focus on strengthening our bonds and skills." Mikoto stood beside them, her expression serious. "I'll coordinate the training sessions. We need to ensure everyone knows their roles and can defend themselves if the need arises." As the villagers murmured in agreement, Naruto felt a sense of unity forming around him. He glanced at his friends, Sakura, Ino, and Hinata, who had pushed their way through the crowd, eager to help. "What do you need us to do?" Sakura asked, determination shining in her eyes. "We're going to organize training sessions for everyone," Naruto replied, his enthusiasm infectious. "We'll focus on techniques, teamwork, and strategies to ensure we can protect our home." Ino's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Count me in. I'll help with the organization and rally the villagers." Hinata nodded, her expression resolute. "I want to contribute too." I'll do whatever it takes to help. As the group began to split into teams, Naruto felt the energy of the villagers rise. This was the strength of Konoha. Everyone was ready to stand together against any threat. With the sun setting, the village transformed into a bustling center of preparation. Days turned into a blur of training and planning. Naruto pushed himself harder than ever, practicing his Uzumaki chain technique and learning to combine it with other offensive and defensive maneuvers. He trained tirelessly with Kushina and Mikoto, who offered their guidance and wisdom at every turn. During one particularly intense session, Kushina clapped her hands together, a proud smile on her face. "You've come so far, Naruto. You're learning to blend your techniques seamlessly." "Thanks, Kushina. I just want to be ready for whatever comes next," Naruto replied, feeling the thrill of improvement. "Remember, it's not just about your strength, it's about working with your allies," Mikoto reminded him. "In a real battle, you won't just rely on your power, you'll need to coordinate with those fighting beside you." As the training continued, dark clouds began to gather on the horizon, casting a shadow over Konoha. The villagers were busy reinforcing defenses, but the foreboding weather matched the tension that had settled in the air. One evening, as Naruto stood at the training grounds, a messenger rushed in, breathless and wide-eyed. "Hokage-sama. There's been a sighting of a large group of rogue shinobi approaching Konoha. They're more organized and better equipped than the last group." The atmosphere shifted instantly, tension rising among the crowd that had gathered. "We need to prepare immediately," Naruto shouted, adrenaline surging through his body. "We won't let them take our home." Mikoto's expression turned serious. "Gather everyone. We need to reinforce the barriers and prepare for battle. We can't underestimate them this time." The village sprang into action, and as they rushed to prepare for the impending attack, Naruto felt the weight of the moment settle over him. This was it, the moment he had been training for. With his friends and allies by his side, he was ready to protect Konoha at all costs. As the rogue shinobi drew closer, Naruto could feel his heart pounding in his chest. The ground trembled as the enemy approached, and the villagers readied themselves for battle, forming a defensive line at the entrance of Konoha. "Stay strong, everyone," Naruto shouted, his voice filled with determination. "We've trained hard for this moment." The rogue leader stepped forward, a sinister smile on his face. "So, the prince of the Uzumaki clan has gathered his little army. How cute." Naruto clenched his fists, anger boiling within him. "We're not afraid of you. We'll protect Konoha." With that declaration, he summoned his chakra, activating his Uzumaki chain technique. The chains glowed with energy as they shot toward the rogue shinobi, ready to bind and subdue. The battle erupted into chaos as the rogue shinobi charged forward. Naruto fought fiercely, his chains wrapping around the first attacker while he moved to defend the villagers. The clang of weapons and the shouts of combat filled the air, but he felt the strength of his allies beside him. Kushina was a whirlwind of energy, her techniques powerful and precise as she engaged multiple enemies. "Keep pushing forward, Naruto. We can't let them breach the village." Mikoto moved with grace, her Sharingan activated as she anticipated the movements of the attackers. "Focus on the leader. We need to take him down to destabilize their ranks." As the battle continued, Naruto felt exhilaration coursing through him. He was not just fighting for himself, he was fighting for everyone in Konoha. He could feel the bond between him and his friend strengthening as they fought side by side. Suddenly, the rogue leader roared, summoning a wave of dark energy that engulfed the battlefield. Shadows danced around them, and Naruto felt a moment of fear creep in. "No! We can't let him overwhelm us," he shouted, summoning all his chakra to push back against the darkness. With Kushina and Mikoto beside him, they unleashed a combined attack, a radiant display of energy that pushed back the shadows. The rogue leader staggered, his confidence faltering as he realized the strength of their unity. Together! Kushina shouted, her voice ringing clear. Let's finish this. With their powers combined, Naruto launched his chains once more, wrapping them around the rogue leader as he unleashed a powerful Rasengan toward him. This ends now. Naruto declared, determination blazing in his eyes. The attack struck true, and with a final surge of energy, the rogue leader fell to the ground, defeated and bound by their combined strength. The remaining rogue shinobi hesitated, and one by one, they began to retreat. As the dust settled and silence fell over the battlefield, the villagers emerged from their hiding places, relief flooding their faces. Cheers erupted as they realized they were safe once more. Naruto stood with Kushina and Mikoto, breathing heavily but victorious. He looked out over the village, filled with gratitude for the strength they had found together. We did it, he shouted, exhilaration washing over him. We protected Konoha. Kushina and Mikoto stood beside him, their expressions filled with pride. You fought valiantly today, Naruto, Kushina said, her voice warm with affection. You've truly become a protector. As the villagers celebrated around them, Naruto felt a renewed sense of purpose. With the bonds he had forged and the strength of his friends by his side, he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. In that moment, under the twilight sky, Naruto knew that he was no longer just the boy who sought recognition. He was a warrior, a leader, and a true prince of the Uzumaki clan. Chapter 12. As dawn broke over Konoha, the village awakened to the soft light of a new day. The air was filled with the scent of fresh blossoms and the distant sounds of birds chirping, but there was a lingering tension that hung like a cloud over the village. Following the fierce battle against the rogue shinobi, the villagers were beginning to emerge from their homes, but the events of the previous day weighed heavily on their hearts. Naruto stood at the training grounds, feeling a mix of relief and determination. He had faced danger head-on, standing strong alongside Kushina and Mikoto, but the threat of future attacks loomed large. He could still hear the echoes of battle, the shouts and clashing of weapons, and the cries of victory that had filled the air. Today was a day for reflection and preparation. Kushina approached, her red hair catching the morning light. How are you feeling, Naruto? She asked, her tone softening as she stepped closer. I'm all right, he replied, though he knew that there was still a lot weighing on him. I just can't shake the feeling that there's more to come. Kushina nodded, her expression serious. It's normal to feel that way after a battle, especially one so intense. But remember, we're not alone. We have each other, and we'll face whatever comes next together. Mikoto joined them, her dark eyes scanning the horizon. Konoha is strong because of its people. We've proven that we can unite in the face of danger. We must continue training, prepare for the worst, and strengthen our defenses. The village needs to know that they can rely on us. Naruto felt a surge of pride at their words. He was grateful for the support of his mentors and friends. You're right. I want to make sure everyone is ready. Let's gather everyone for training. We need to show them that we're not afraid. As they discussed their plans, the sound of footsteps echoed in the distance. Sakura, Ino, and Hinata approached, their faces filled with resolve. We're here to help, Sakura said, determination evident in her eyes. What can we do? Gather the villagers and get them ready for more training sessions, Naruto instructed, his enthusiasm contagious. We need to ensure everyone knows how to protect themselves and work together. Ino grinned, her confidence radiating. Leave it to me. I'll rally everyone together and get them motivated. Hinata nodded, her lavender eyes shining with determination. I want to help too. I'll practice with anyone who needs it. As the group sprang into action, Naruto felt a surge of energy. The bond between them was stronger than ever, forged in the fires of battle. With each passing moment, he could feel the village coming together, united by a shared purpose. The following days were filled with intense training and preparation. Naruto led the villagers in drills that focused on teamwork and defensive techniques. They practiced everything from chakra control to strategic maneuvers. And with each session, he could see the confidence grow in everyone. Kushina and Mikoto guided him, offering advice and sharing their own experiences as they worked alongside the villagers. "You're doing great, Naruto," Kushina encouraged during one training session. "Keep pushing yourself, and remember to keep your allies in mind." "Focus on communication," Mikoto added, demonstrating how to anticipate an ally's movements during battle. "You need to know what your teammates are doing to coordinate your attacks effectively." The training sessions brought the village closer together. Laughter mixed with the sounds of combat as Naruto and his friends encouraged everyone to do their best. They faced challenges, learned from mistakes, and celebrated small victories along the way. However, as the days turned into weeks, the ominous clouds that had once gathered on the horizon returned. Rumors began to circulate about rogue shinobi regrouping in the mountains, planning their next move. Tension returned to Konoha, and the villagers' excitement turned to unease. One evening, as Naruto and his friends gathered to discuss their training, a messenger burst through the door, panic etched on his face. "Hokage-sama. There's been a sighting of a large group of rogue shinobi gathering in the mountains. They're preparing for an attack." The room fell silent as the weight of the news settled over them. Naruto's heart raced. This was the moment they had been training for, and now it was time to put their skills to the test. "We need to prepare immediately," Naruto exclaimed, adrenaline surging through him. "Gather everyone. We won't let them take Konoha." As the villagers began to mobilize, Naruto felt the gravity of the situation. He could see the fear in their eyes, but he knew they could rise to the occasion. With Kushina and Mikoto at his side, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. "We've trained for this," Mikoto said, her voice steady. "Stick together, and we can outsmart them." With determination, they moved through the village, rallying the villagers to reinforce defenses and prepare for battle. The air was electric with tension as everyone came together, ready to protect their home. As night fell, the village was bathed in a dim light. The tension hung thick, but Naruto felt a sense of strength in unity. He stood at the forefront, ready to lead his friends and allies into battle once more. The weight of their expectations pressed down on him, but he would not falter. When the rogue shinobi finally arrived, their silhouettes stark against the moonlit sky, Naruto stood tall. He could hear the whispers of fear around him, but he was determined to turn that fear into strength. "We can do this," he shouted, rallying the villagers. "We've trained hard, and together, we're stronger than any enemy." As the rogue shinobi charged forward, the villagers stood united, ready to defend their home. Naruto felt the adrenaline surge within him, and with his friends by his side, he was ready to face whatever storm lay ahead. Chapter 13. As the rogue shinobi charged toward Konoha, the air crackled with anticipation. Naruto stood at the front lines, flanked by Kushina and Mikoto, his heart pounding in rhythm with the thundering footsteps of their enemies. He could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on him, but he refused to let fear take hold. This was what he had trained for, this was his time to protect his village. "Remember your training," Mikoto shouted, her voice slicing through the tension like a blade. "Stick together and stay focused. We can't let them breach the village." Kushina nodded, her expression fierce and determined. "We've fought hard for this home. Let's show them what we're made of." Naruto could see the determination in the eyes of his friends and the villagers behind him. They were ready. "Let's do this," he shouted, feeling the energy surge through him. As the rogue shinobi closed in, Naruto summoned his chakra, activating his Uzumaki chain technique. The chains erupted from his body, shimmering with energy as they shot toward the oncoming attackers. One by one, the chains wrapped around the rogue shinobi, immobilizing them in a dazzling display of power. "Great job, Naruto!" Kushina cheered, launching a wave of her own chakra at the enemies. "Keep pushing forward." Mikoto dashed beside him, her Sharingan activated, allowing her to anticipate the rogue shinobi's movements. She moved with fluid grace, her technique seamless as she countered their attacks. "Focus on their leader. If we take him down, the rest will falter." As they fought, Naruto felt a thrill coursing through him. He was no longer just the boy who sought recognition, he was a protector, a warrior standing alongside his friends. The battle raged around them, the sounds of combat echoing through the night, but he could feel the bond between them strengthening with each strike. The rogue leader stood at the back, observing the chaos with a sinister grin. "You think you can stop us? This is only the beginning," he taunted, his voice dripping with malice. "Shut up!" Naruto shouted back, anger igniting within him. He pushed forward, determined to confront the leader and show him the strength of Konoha. As the rogue leader summoned a wave of dark energy, Naruto felt the ground shake beneath him. Shadows twisted and contorted, threatening to consume everything in their path. Panic surged through the villagers, but Naruto pushed it aside. "Stay strong. We can do this together." He could see his friends fighting valiantly beside him, each one channeling their strength into the battle. Sakura was weaving through the chaos, her fist striking true, while Ino used her mind transfer jutsu to confuse the enemies. Hinata moved gracefully, her gentle demeanor belying her fierce determination as she defended those around her. As the rogue leader unleashed another wave of darkness, Mikoto stepped in front of Naruto. "We need to counter this," she called out. "Naruto, combine your chains with my fire jutsu." "Right," he replied, summoning all of his chakra. He could feel the warmth of the chains pulsing through him as he prepared to launch his next attack. "Fire style, Phoenix Fire Jutsu." Mikoto shouted, unleashing a barrage of flames that illuminated the darkening sky. The flames danced toward the rogue leader, and Naruto joined in, sending his chains to bind the leader while the fire closed in. The rogue leader's confident smirk faltered as he realized what was coming. "No! You won't defeat me," he screamed, attempting to summon more darkness to shield himself, but it was too late. The chains wrapped around him, and the fire engulfed him in a brilliant explosion of light. As the smoke cleared, the rogue leader lay defeated on the ground, his body immobile and his dark energy dissipated. A hush fell over the battlefield as the remaining rogue shinobi hesitated, uncertainty flooding their ranks. "Now's our chance," Naruto shouted, rallying the villagers. "Push them back. We can't let them regroup." With a surge of renewed energy, the villagers pressed forward, their confidence bolstered by the defeat of the rogue leader. Naruto fought alongside them, his heart racing with adrenaline. Together, they pushed the remaining rogue shinobi back, driving them away from Konoha. The battle raged on, but with every step they took, the villagers felt the strength of unity. As they fought, they remembered their training, the bonds they had formed, and the love they shared for their home. The rogue shinobi began to retreat, their morale shattered in the face of such determination. Finally, as the last of the rogue shinobi fled, the villagers erupted into cheers. Naruto stood amidst the celebration, breathing heavily but filled with a sense of accomplishment. He had fought for Konoha, and together with his friends, they had prevailed. Kushina and Mikoto rushed to his side, their expressions a mix of pride and relief. "You did it, Naruto!" Kushina exclaimed, her voice filled with warmth. "We all did it," he replied, glancing at the villagers who were still cheering around them. "Together, we're unstoppable." As the night wore on and the celebration continued, Naruto felt a sense of belonging swell within him. He was no longer just a boy searching for recognition. He was a warrior, a leader, and a true prince of the Uzumaki clan. With the bonds of friendship stronger than ever, he knew they could face whatever challenges lay ahead. Together, they were Konoha, and they would protect their home at all costs. The celebrations in Konoha continued long into the night, a vibrant tapestry of laughter, joy, and relief woven together by the villagers who had faced danger and emerged victorious. Naruto stood amidst the crowd, his heart swelling with pride. The weight of the battle they had fought hung in the air, but the warmth of their unity was palpable. As the cheers echoed around him, he felt a hand on his shoulder. Turning, he found Kushina and Mikoto standing beside him, their expressions filled with pride and satisfaction. "You did an incredible job today, Naruto," Kushina said, her eyes sparkling with admiration. "You led everyone with such courage." "Thanks, Kushina," he replied, a grin spreading across his face. "I couldn't have done it without you too. Your support means everything." Mikoto nodded, her expression serious yet warm. "You've grown so much. This village is lucky to have you as its protector. Just remember, this victory is just one step on a longer journey. We must stay vigilant." Naruto took a deep breath, the reality of her words settling in. He had felt invincible in the heat of battle, but he understood the importance of remaining prepared. "I will. I want to be ready for anything that comes our way." As the festivities continued, the villagers shared their stories of bravery, recounting how they had come together to fight for their home. Sakura, Ino, and Hinata joined Naruto, their faces lit with excitement. "You were amazing out there, Naruto," Sakura exclaimed, her eyes wide with admiration. "I still can't believe how strong you've become." "Yeah. You were like a superhero," Ino added, a teasing smile on her face. "I'd say you've officially made your mark as a prince." Naruto felt a rush of warmth at their words, but he shrugged them off with a grin. "I just did what any shinobi would do. We all fought together, and that's what really matters." Hinata stepped forward, her voice soft but sincere. "I'm so proud of you, Naruto-kun. You've grown into such a strong leader. I knew you could do it." Her compliment made his heart race. "Thanks, Hinata. That means a lot coming from you." As the night wore on, the villagers began to settle down, laughter fading into contented chatter. Naruto found a quiet spot on the outskirts of the celebration, gazing up at the stars twinkling in the night sky. Kushina and Mikoto joined him, their expressions thoughtful. "What's on your mind?" Kushina asked, her voice gentle. "I was just thinking about everything that's happened," Naruto replied. "About how far we've come and how much we've all grown. But I can't help but wonder if we'll have to face that kind of danger again." Mikoto placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "It's natural to feel that way, especially after such a significant battle. The world of shinobi is unpredictable, but what matters is that we're ready to face whatever comes next." "Exactly," Kushina added, her eyes shining with determination. "We've faced darkness before, and we'll do it again. As long as we have each other, we can overcome anything." The warmth of their words filled Naruto with hope. He knew they were right, together, they could face any challenge that lay ahead. The following days were filled with preparation and training. The villagers remained committed to strengthening their defenses, and Naruto led them with unwavering enthusiasm. He focused on refining his techniques, determined to become a better protector for those he cared about. During one training session, he noticed a group of younger villagers watching them, their eyes wide with admiration. It reminded him of his own childhood, when he had yearned for recognition and respect. "Hey," he called out, smiling at the kids. "Do you want to join us? We could use more hands." Their faces lit up with excitement, and they rushed over, eager to participate. Naruto felt a surge of warmth as he welcomed them into the fold. This was what it meant to be a leader, to inspire others and create a sense of belonging. As the days turned into weeks, their training intensified. Naruto continued to work alongside Kushina and Mikoto, honing his skills while also encouraging the villagers to find their strengths. He was no longer just the boy seeking recognition, he was a protector, guiding others toward their potential. But just as they began to feel secure, the air crackled with tension once more. Rumors began to circulate about rogue shinobi regrouping in the mountains, plotting their next move. The villagers' excitement faded as unease settled over Konoha once again. One evening, as they gathered to discuss their training, the messenger from earlier returned, breathless and anxious. Hokage-sama. We've received reports that a larger force of rogue shinobi is on the move. They're headed straight for Konoha. Naruto's heart raced at the news. They had been preparing for this moment, but the reality of facing a larger threat felt daunting. He looked around at his friends and allies, their expressions serious but resolute. We need to act fast, Mikoto said, her tone unwavering. Gather everyone. We have to fortify the village's defenses and prepare for battle. Let's move. Naruto shouted, adrenaline surging through him. We won't let them take our home. As they sprang into action, Naruto felt the familiar rush of determination flood through him. They had faced danger before, and they would do it again. With his friends by his side, he was ready to protect Konoha at all costs. The villagers rallied together, working swiftly to reinforce the barriers and prepare for the impending attack. Naruto moved through the crowd, offering words of encouragement and support. Stay strong. We can do this, he shouted, rallying their spirits. As night fell and the clouds loomed overhead, Naruto stood at the forefront, ready to face the storm. The bonds of friendship and unity he had forged with Kushina, Mikoto, and the villagers gave him strength. Together, they would protect their home, no matter what challenges lay ahead. As the dark clouds loomed overhead, casting a shadow over Konoha, a sense of urgency filled the air. The villagers moved quickly, reinforcing barricades and preparing for the inevitable confrontation with the rogue shinobi. Naruto stood at the forefront, his heart racing with a mix of determination and anxiety. This was a moment that would test not only his strength but also the bonds he had forged with his friends and the villagers. The night was heavy with tension as Naruto glanced at the gathering crowd, their faces a mixture of fear and resolve. He felt a responsibility weighing on his shoulders, knowing that he was not just fighting for himself but for everyone in Konoha. He had trained hard, but the thought of facing a larger force of rogue shinobi made his heart race. Everyone, listen up, he called out, trying to project confidence even as his heart pounded in his chest. We've prepared for this. We've trained together, and we can defend our home. The villagers cheered, their voices rising in unison. Naruto felt a wave of determination wash over him. He was not alone in this fight, they were united, ready to protect what they held dear. Kushina and Mikoto joined him, their expressions serious yet encouraging. You've got this, Naruto, Kushina said, her voice steady. Just remember everything you've learned. Mikoto nodded, her gaze focused on the distance where the rogue shinobi were rumored to be gathering. Stay sharp and trust your instincts. We'll face this together. As the minutes passed, the atmosphere grew more charged. The sound of distant footsteps echoed through the night, sending a shiver down Naruto's spine. The rogue shinobi were close, and he could feel the tension thickening in the air. Prepare yourselves. Mikoto shouted, her voice cutting through the murmurs of the crowd. They're coming. The villagers took their positions, forming a defensive line at the entrance of Konoha. Naruto stood at the front, his heart pounding in anticipation. He could see dark figures approaching, the rogue shinobi silhouetted against the night sky. Their numbers were greater than before, and their intent was clear. Don't let fear take hold. Naruto shouted, his voice strong and unwavering. We've trained for this. Together, we can protect our home. As the rogue shinobi charged forward, Naruto summoned his chakra, activating his Uzumaki chain technique. The chains burst forth, glowing with energy as they shot toward the attackers, ready to bind them. The clash of battle erupted as the rogue shinobi closed in. The air filled with shouts and the sounds of combat, and Naruto felt the rush of adrenaline surge through him. He launched his chains, wrapping them around the first enemy that came within reach, immobilizing them in a dazzling display of power. Kushina moved like a whirlwind, her techniques flowing seamlessly as she engaged multiple enemies. "Keep pushing, Naruto," she encouraged, her eyes fierce with determination. "Don't let them break through." Mikoto fought alongside them, her Sharingan activated as she anticipated the movements of the rogue shinobi. "Focus on their leader," she commanded, her voice steady amidst the chaos. "We need to take him down to destabilize their ranks." Naruto felt the rush of combat surging through him, each strike igniting a fire within. He wasn't just fighting for himself, he was fighting for Konoha, for his friends, and for the future they all wanted to protect. The rogue leader emerged from the shadows, a sinister grin stretching across his face. "You think you can stop us? You're nothing but children," he taunted, raising his hands to summon dark energy. "No. We won't let you threaten our home," Naruto shouted, summoning every ounce of strength he had. He could feel the determination of the villagers fueling him, and with a fierce yell, he launched his chains toward the leader. As the chains shot forward, the rogue leader unleashed a wave of dark energy, but Naruto's resolve was unyielding. The chains wrapped around the leader, binding him tightly, and the dark energy began to dissipate as the combined strength of their attacks clashed. "Together!" Kushina shouted, her voice rising above the chaos. "Now, Naruto!" With a powerful surge, Naruto channeled all his chakra into the chains, amplifying their strength. The rogue leader struggled against the bindings, but with one final push, Naruto and his allies unleashed a combined attack that engulfed him in light. The impact sent shockwaves through the battlefield, and as the light faded, the rogue leader lay defeated, his dark energy vanquished. The remaining rogue shinobi hesitated, fear creeping into their ranks as they realized their leader had fallen. "Now's our chance," Mikoto shouted, rallying the villagers. "Push them back." As the villagers surged forward, the rogue shinobi began to retreat, their morale shattered by the defeat of their leader. Cheers erupted from the crowd as they pressed their advantage, pushing the remaining enemies out of Konoha. Amid the celebration, Naruto felt a rush of exhilaration. They had done it. They had faced a greater threat and emerged victorious. He stood side by side with Kushina and Mikoto, their faces filled with pride and relief. "We did it!" Naruto shouted, his voice filled with joy. "We protected Konoha." The villagers cheered, their voices rising in unison. The weight of the battle lifted, replaced by a sense of unity and triumph. Kushina and Mikoto joined him in the celebration, their eyes shining with pride. "You fought bravely, Naruto," Kushina said, her voice warm with affection. Mikoto nodded, her expression serious but softening. "You've truly become a leader. Today proved that together, we can overcome any obstacle." As the villagers celebrated around them, Naruto felt a sense of belonging swell within him. He was not just a boy searching for recognition, he was a warrior, a protector, and a true prince of the Uzumaki clan. In that moment, under the stars and surrounded by friends, he knew they would face whatever challenges lay ahead together. With the bonds of friendship stronger than ever, they had proven that Konoha could withstand any storm. Chapter 16. The morning after the battle dawned bright and clear, a stark contrast to the heavy clouds that had loomed over Konoha just hours before. The village was alive with activity as villagers began to clean up the remnants of the previous night's chaos, their spirits buoyed by the hard-won victory over the rogue shinobi. Naruto stepped out of his house, the sun warming his face, and took a deep breath of the crisp morning air. He could still feel the adrenaline from the battle, but now it was mixed with a sense of peace and accomplishment. As he made his way through the village, he noticed families gathering together, sharing stories and laughter. Children played in the streets, their carefree joy a reminder of what they had fought to protect. It warmed his heart to see Konoha thriving despite the recent threat. "Hey, Naruto," a familiar voice called out, pulling him from his thoughts. He turned to see Sakura running toward him, her expression bright. "I was just looking for you. I wanted to see how you were doing after everything that happened." "I'm good," he replied, grinning. "Just soaking in the victory. It feels nice to see everyone in good spirits." Sakura nodded, her smile widening. "You were incredible last night. The way you led everyone, it was inspiring." Naruto felt a blush creep up his cheeks. "Thanks, but I couldn't have done it without you and everyone else. We all fought together." Ino joined them, her hair bouncing as she approached. "What's this? A Naruto fan club meeting? I want in," she teased, crossing her arms with a playful grin. Sakura rolled her eyes, chuckling. "Don't you mean the Naruto Appreciation Society?" Ino waved her hand dismissively. "Fine, whatever you want to call it. Just know that I appreciate his heroics too." She turned to Naruto, her expression serious for a moment. "But seriously, you did great. You've really stepped up." Naruto scratched the back of his head, a little embarrassed by the praise. "I just did what needed to be done. We all have to be ready for anything now." As they continued their conversation, Hinata approached shyly, her lavender eyes filled with admiration. "And Naruto-kun," she said softly, "I'm really proud of you. You fought so bravely." "Thanks, Hinata," he replied, feeling his heart race. "It means a lot to hear that from you." The group chatted and laughed, sharing stories of their training and hopes for the future. As they spoke, Naruto felt the weight of the world lift from his shoulders. They were all in this together, and together they could overcome anything. Later that day, they gathered at the training grounds once more, this time to share their experiences and discuss their next steps. The villagers assembled, eager to learn and improve. Naruto stood at the forefront, ready to lead them once again. "All right, everyone," he called out, his voice ringing with enthusiasm. "We've faced a lot together, and now it's time to strengthen our skills even more. Let's work together to prepare for whatever comes next." Kushina and Mikoto joined him, their expressions serious but encouraging. "We'll focus on advanced techniques and teamwork drills," Mikoto announced, her gaze sweeping over the crowd. "This is an opportunity for everyone to grow stronger together." As they split into groups, Naruto felt a surge of excitement. They practiced everything from combat techniques to defensive maneuvers, focusing on building trust and coordination. With each drill, he could see the villagers growing more confident, their skills sharpening. During a break, Naruto took a moment to catch his breath. He leaned against a nearby tree, watching the villagers as they trained. He noticed how they encouraged each other, their laughter ringing out as they sparred and practiced their techniques. It filled him with pride to see how far they had come. Suddenly, he heard a familiar voice behind him. "Hey, Naruto. Think you can take me on?" It was Sasuke, his expression unreadable but his challenge clear. "Of course." Naruto replied, a grin spreading across his face. "I've been waiting for this." The two of them faced off, the tension between them palpable. As they exchanged blows, Naruto felt the familiar thrill of competition, each strike fueling his determination to improve. They pushed each other, each move sharpening their skills. "Not bad," Sasuke said, his voice steady as they fought. "But you'll need to be faster if you want to keep up with me. Just watch." Naruto shot back, feeling the fire within him ignite. He summoned his chains, using them to create an opening as he charged forward with a Rasengan. As the training continued, the bond between Naruto and Sasuke deepened. They fought with intensity, each clash resonating with a mutual respect forged through their shared experiences. The spirit of camaraderie filled the training grounds, reminding Naruto of the strength they all possessed when united. After an exhausting training session, the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over Konoha. The villagers gathered together, celebrating their progress and victories, but Naruto felt a familiar weight settle over him. "Hey, what's wrong?" Kushina asked, noticing his furrowed brow. "It's just, what if they come back? What if we aren't strong enough next time?" Naruto admitted, vulnerability creeping into his voice. Kushina placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. "You've already proven that you can face any challenge. And you won't be alone. We're all in this together, remember?" Mikoto nodded, her gaze steady. "We'll continue training, and we'll face whatever comes our way as a united front. That's our strength." Feeling reassured by their support, Naruto took a deep breath. "You're right. We'll prepare and train harder. I won't let Konoha down." As they watched the sunset, casting a golden hue over the village, Naruto felt a renewed sense of determination. He knew that the road ahead wouldn't be easy, but with his friends by his side, he was ready to face any challenge that lay ahead. They shared laughter and stories late into the evening, their bonds growing stronger with each passing moment. And in the heart of Konoha, surrounded by friends and allies, Naruto knew that they would stand together, no matter what the future held. Part 17. The sun rose over Konoha, painting the sky in soft shades of pink and gold, a promise of a new day filled with potential. As Naruto stretched and prepared for another day of training, he felt a sense of anticipation thrumming in his veins. The recent battles had forged a stronger resolve within him and the villagers. They were ready to stand against any threats that might arise. After breakfast, Naruto made his way to the training grounds, where he found several villagers already gathered, their faces filled with determination. The atmosphere buzzed with excitement as they prepared for the day's training session. "Good morning, everyone," Naruto called out, his voice buoyant and energized. "Are you all ready to train hard today?" A chorus of enthusiastic responses met him, and he felt his spirits lift. He stepped forward, ready to lead them once more. "Today, we're going to focus on teamwork. It's important that we work together to enhance our techniques and strategies." As they broke into smaller groups, Naruto felt the familiar rush of adrenaline. He led a session focused on defensive maneuvers, teaching the villagers how to work in tandem to protect one another during battle. The training felt different this time, it was filled with purpose and conviction. After a few hours of drills, Naruto noticed Hinata practicing her gentle fist technique nearby. She moved with grace, each strike precise and fluid. He couldn't help but admire her skill. "Hinata, want to show me a few moves?" he called out, feeling playful. She looked up, a bit startled, but her cheeks flushed with a soft pink. "Oh, of course, Naruto-kun," she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. As they sparred, Naruto found himself falling into a rhythm. Hinata's gentle fist was formidable, and he quickly realized that he had to be on his toes. "You've gotten even better," he exclaimed, dodging one of her attacks. "I can't believe how strong you've become." "Thank you," Hinata said, a shy smile breaking through her usual demeanor. "I've been practicing a lot. I want to be strong enough to help everyone." "That's the spirit," he encouraged, feeling proud of her determination. "Together, we can face anything." After their sparring session, they took a break, and Hinata offered him a bottle of water. "You did great out there, Naruto-kun," she said, her voice steadying as she met his gaze. "I know you'll protect Konoha." Naruto felt a warmth spread through him at her words. "Thanks, Hinata. I know I can count on you, too." Their moment was interrupted when Ino bounded over, her energy infectious. "Hey, lovebirds. What's going on here?" she teased, winking playfully. "You two getting cozy?" Hinata's cheeks flushed deeper, and Naruto laughed, trying to deflect the teasing. "Just training. We're all focused on getting stronger." Ino grinned and pulled Hinata into a playful headlock. "Come on, let's see what you've got," she challenged, releasing Hinata and assuming a fighting stance. The training grounds erupted into laughter as the friends began to spar with each other, the competitive spirit rising amongst them. Each of them knew the importance of strengthening their skills together, and the bonds they forged during these moments made them a formidable team. As the day progressed, Naruto led various drills, pushing the villagers to their limits while ensuring they understood the importance of teamwork. They practiced formation strategies, honing their ability to communicate and act as one unit during battle. However, as night fell, a sense of unease crept back into Naruto's heart. Despite their progress, he couldn't shake the feeling that the rogue shinobi were still out there, waiting for their chance to strike again. After a long day of training, Naruto gathered with his friends around a small fire in the training grounds. The flickering flames danced in the night, casting warm light on their faces as they shared stories and laughed together. Kushina and Mikoto joined them, their presence grounding. "You all did well today," Kushina said, her voice filled with pride. "Your teamwork has improved significantly." "We've trained hard, and it shows," Mikoto added, her gaze shifting to the horizon. "But we must remain vigilant. The enemy may return at any moment." As they sat together, sharing their hopes and fears, Naruto felt the weight of responsibility settle over him. "We have to stay ready," he said, his tone serious. "I won't let anyone down. I'll protect everyone in this village." The night grew darker, and the stars twinkled overhead like distant beacons of hope. The camaraderie they shared brought him strength, and as they exchanged stories of bravery, he could feel the bonds of friendship deepening. But just as he began to relax, the sound of rustling leaves broke through the quiet night. The air grew tense, and everyone turned their heads toward the sound, alert and ready. "Did you hear that?" Naruto asked, his heart racing. Kushina and Mikoto exchanged glances, their expressions serious. "We need to check it out," Mikoto said, her voice low. As they moved quietly toward the source of the noise, Naruto's pulse quickened. The excitement of training and camaraderie faded, replaced by the urgency of the unknown. Together, they stepped into the shadows, ready to face whatever awaited them. As they approached the edge of the training grounds, they spotted movement. Figures lurked in the darkness, their silhouettes tense and threatening. The rogue shinobi had returned. "Stay close," Naruto whispered, his heart racing. They had trained for this moment, but the reality of the situation felt heavier than any drill. Kushina activated her chakra, and Mikoto's eyes glowed with the Sharingan, both ready to defend their home. "We need to protect the villagers," Kushina urged, her voice steady as she focused on the incoming threat. With a surge of determination, Naruto stepped forward, ready to confront the danger head-on. They had faced challenges together before, and he was not about to let fear take hold. "Get ready," he shouted, rallying his friends and allies. "We've trained for this, and we'll protect Konoha." As the rogue shinobi approached, Naruto felt the fire of resolve burning within him. With the bonds of friendship behind him and the strength of Konoha in his heart, he was ready to face the storm once more. Part 18. The tension in the air was palpable as Naruto and his friends stood at the edge of the training grounds, facing the approaching rogue shinobi. Shadows flickered under the moonlight, and the dark figures of their enemies moved with an unsettling purpose. The cheers from the previous day's victory felt like a distant memory, replaced by the cold reality of the fight that lay ahead. "Stay alert," Mikoto instructed, her voice steady as her Sharingan flared to life. She scanned the area, her expression serious. "We need to be ready for anything." Kushina stood beside her, her chakra already swirling around her, radiating warmth and strength. "We won't let them through. We've prepared for this moment." Naruto felt the familiar rush of adrenaline surge through him, drowning out the fear that threatened to creep in. He looked at his friends, each one standing ready to fight. "We've trained hard, and we're not backing down. Together, we can do this." The rogue leader stepped forward, his eyes glinting with malice. So, the little village thinks it can stand against us again? You'll regret challenging us. Naruto clenched his fists, anger igniting within him. You'll regret underestimating us. With that, the rogue shinobi surged forward, and chaos erupted. Naruto summoned his Uzumaki chain technique, the chains extending from his body and shooting toward the nearest enemy, binding them with a brilliant flash of energy. The thrill of battle coursed through him, reminding him of all the hard work he had put in to get to this moment. Push forward. Kushina shouted, her voice a rallying cry that filled the air with determination. She launched a powerful wave of chakra, knocking back two rogue shinobi who attempted to flank them. Mikoto moved gracefully through the battlefield, her Sharingan allowing her to predict the movements of the enemy. Naruto, keep an eye on your left. There's an attacker coming in. Got it, he responded, pivoting just in time to bind another rogue shinobi with his chains. The battle was a whirlwind of chaos, with shouts and clashing weapons filling the air, but in that chaos, Naruto felt a sense of purpose. They were protecting their home, their village, and they would not falter. As they fought, Naruto noticed a group of villagers watching from a distance, their faces filled with fear and concern. He knew that he had to keep them safe, and that thought fueled his resolve even more. We need to protect the villagers, he shouted to his friends. Let's drive them back. With renewed determination, Naruto pushed forward, his chains wrapping around rogue shinobi and immobilizing them. He could feel the strength of his friends at his side, fighting fiercely to defend their home. The rogue shinobi began to falter as the tide of battle shifted in Konoha's favor. Just when it seemed they were gaining the upper hand, the rogue leader unleashed a wave of dark energy, sending a shockwave through the battlefield. The air crackled, and Naruto felt the force of it push against him, momentarily disorienting him. Stay strong. Mikoto shouted, her voice cutting through the chaos. We need to counter his attack. Kushina quickly regained her footing and summoned her chakra, preparing to unleash a powerful technique. We'll combine our strength. Together, we can overpower him. Right. Naruto yelled, focusing his energy as he joined them. He could feel the heat of their combined techniques intensifying, a blazing light that cut through the darkness. With a united shout, they launched their combined attack. The chains intertwined with a wave of chakra and flames, racing toward the rogue leader. This ends now. Naruto declared, determination echoing in his voice. The rogue leader's eyes widened in shock as the attack hit him head-on, engulfing him in a brilliant explosion of light. The shockwave sent a ripple through the battlefield, pushing back the remaining rogue shinobi and leaving them stunned. As the dust settled, the rogue leader lay defeated, his dark energy dissipated. The remaining rogue shinobi exchanged worried glances, uncertainty creeping into their ranks. Now's our chance. Kushina shouted, rallying the villagers. We can't let them regroup. With a renewed sense of purpose, the villagers surged forward. The cheers of victory filling the air as they pushed the remaining rogue shinobi back. Naruto fought alongside his friends, exhilaration coursing through him. They had faced darkness and triumphed, standing united against the enemy. The battle began to wind down as the rogue shinobi fled, their morale shattered by the defeat of their leader. As the villagers cheered, Naruto felt a wave of relief wash over him. They had protected Konoha, and he had stood true to his word. Kushina and Mikoto joined him amidst the celebration, their expressions filled with pride. You fought bravely, Naruto, Kushina said, her voice warm and filled with affection. You've truly become a leader. Mikoto nodded, her gaze steady. You showed everyone what it means to stand united. This victory will be remembered. As the villagers celebrated around them, Naruto felt a sense of belonging swell within him. He was no longer just a boy searching for recognition, he was a protector, a warrior, and a true prince of the Uzumaki clan. As the night wore on and the stars shone brightly above, Naruto knew that their bonds had grown stronger than ever. Together, they could face whatever challenges lay ahead. With laughter and stories shared, he felt the weight of the world lift from his shoulders. They had fought together, they had won together, and they would continue to protect Konoha, side by side, no matter what storms awaited them in the future. P19. The sun rose over Konoha, casting a golden light across the village that felt like a warm embrace after the chaos of the previous night. Naruto stood at the edge of the training grounds, breathing in the crisp morning air, his heart still racing from the excitement of the battle. He could feel the lingering adrenaline, but now it was mixed with the exhilaration of victory and the promise of a new day. As he made his way through the village, he noticed that the atmosphere was different. The villagers moved with a renewed sense of hope and determination. They were resilient, and their spirit shone brighter than ever. Naruto couldn't help but smile as he greeted familiar faces, each one reflecting the strength they had shown during the battle against the rogue shinobi. "Good morning, Naruto," a young girl called out, her eyes sparkling with admiration. "You were so brave last night." "Thanks," he replied, feeling warmth spread through him. "But I couldn't have done it without everyone's support. We all fought together." As he continued through the village, he felt a sense of purpose surging within him. He was not just fighting for recognition anymore, he was fighting for his friends, for his village, and for the bonds they had forged through shared struggles. Later that morning, Naruto met with Kushina and Mikoto at the training grounds. They had gathered the villagers to discuss their next steps. "Today, we'll focus on recovery and reinforcement," Mikoto said, her expression serious. "We need to ensure that everyone is prepared for any potential threats in the future. We can't let our guard down." Kushina nodded, her eyes scanning the crowd of eager villagers. "Let's also take this opportunity to build morale. We should celebrate our victory and remind everyone that we are a united front." Naruto felt a surge of excitement at the idea. "We can have a celebration. A chance for everyone to come together and acknowledge what we've accomplished." As they discussed the details, the atmosphere around them buzzed with enthusiasm. Villagers began to gather, eager to hear what their leaders had planned. "All right, everyone," Naruto called out, his voice ringing with excitement. "We're going to celebrate our victory and show everyone that Konoha stands strong together." Cheers erupted from the crowd, and the energy was infectious. They began to brainstorm ideas for the celebration, sharing laughter and enthusiasm. Ino and Sakura stepped forward, their faces alight with excitement. "We can organize games and contests," Ino suggested, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "It'll be fun for everyone." "Let's have food stalls too," Sakura chimed in. "We can bring out the best dishes from the village." As the villagers began to rally together, Naruto felt a sense of pride swell within him. They were working together, united by their shared experiences and the strength they had gained through battle. The days that followed were a whirlwind of preparation for the celebration. Villagers decorated the square with colorful banners and lanterns, filling the air with laughter and joy. Naruto helped organize games, from races to obstacle courses, and the excitement in the village was palpable. On the day of the celebration, the village square transformed into a lively festival ground. Stalls filled with food lined the streets, the aroma of delicious dishes wafting through the air. Children ran around, their laughter ringing out as they participated in games and activities. As Naruto stood at the heart of it all, he watched the villagers come together, sharing stories and celebrating their resilience. He felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the community that had embraced him, the bonds they had formed, and the strength they had shown. Kushina and Mikoto joined him, their expressions filled with warmth and pride. "Look at how far we've come," Kushina said, her voice soft. "This is what it means to be a part of Konoha." "It's more than just a village," Mikoto added, her eyes sparkling. "It's a family. We fight for each other, and we celebrate together." As the festivities continued, Naruto felt a sense of fulfillment wash over him. They had faced darkness and emerged victorious, but it was moments like this that reminded him of the true strength of Konoha, the strength of unity and friendship. Later in the evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the stars began to twinkle overhead, Naruto gathered with his friends around a bonfire. The warmth of the flames danced in the night, and the villagers shared stories of bravery and camaraderie. "I can't believe we actually did it," Sakura said, her eyes shining with excitement. "We came together and protected our home." Ino laughed, playfully nudging her. "And we threw a great party afterward. This is definitely one for the books." Hinata smiled shyly, her cheeks slightly flushed. "I'm so proud of all of you. We fought together, and we proved that we can overcome anything." Naruto looked around at his friends, his heart swelling with appreciation. "This is what it's all about," he said, his voice steady. "We're not just fighting for ourselves, we're fighting for each other and for our village. Together, we're unstoppable." As the fire crackled and the laughter filled the air, Naruto knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. The bonds they had formed were unbreakable, forged in the fires of battle and solidified in moments like this. The celebration continued late into the night, the villagers coming together to honor their strength and resilience. Underneath the stars, Naruto felt a sense of peace settle over him. Konoha was more than just a home, it was a place filled with love, friendship, and the promise of a brighter future. In that moment, surrounded by his friends and the warmth of the bonfire, Naruto felt ready for anything that might come their way. Together, they would stand strong, united in their purpose and unwavering in their resolve to protect their village. P20. The sun set gently over Konoha, casting a warm, golden hue across the village as the day came to a close. The atmosphere was filled with a sense of peace and accomplishment, a stark contrast to the chaos that had once threatened their home. As Naruto stood at the edge of the training grounds, he reflected on the journey that had brought him here, the battles fought, the friendships forged, and the strength of the bonds that had united them all. It had been months since the defeat of the rogue shinobi, and in that time, Konoha had flourished. The village was not only rebuilding, it was thriving. The people had come together, stronger than ever, and the memories of their struggles only served to deepen their connections. Festivals had become more frequent, laughter filling the air as the villagers celebrated their victories and honored those who had fought for their home. Naruto turned to see familiar faces approaching. Kushina, Mikoto, Sakura, Ino, and Hinata walked together, their expressions bright with joy. "Hey, Naruto!" Ino called out, her voice playful as always. "We were just talking about how awesome the last festival was. You really know how to throw a party." Naruto laughed, the sound filled with warmth. "I just wanted everyone to have a good time. We've all been through so much together." Kushina stepped closer, her eyes shining with pride. "You've grown into an incredible leader, Naruto. You've inspired so many people in this village." "Thanks, but I couldn't have done it without all of you," he replied sincerely, glancing at each of his friends. "We've faced so many challenges, but together we've built something special." As they gathered together, the sun dipped lower on the horizon, the sky painted in shades of orange and pink. It was a beautiful sight, a perfect reflection of the harmony that had returned to their lives. "Look at the village," Mikoto said, her gaze softening as she took in the sight. "We've come so far since that night. The bonds we've formed will only grow stronger from here." "Agreed," Sakura added, her voice filled with determination. "Whatever comes next, we'll face it together. We've trained hard, and we've proven that we're a force to be reckoned with." Hinata stepped forward, a slight blush on her cheeks as she looked at Naruto. "And we're stronger together, as your wives. We'll always support you, no matter what happens." Naruto felt warmth spread through him at her words. "Thanks, Hinata. I'm grateful to have you all by my side. Together, we can face anything." As they shared their thoughts and dreams for the future, Naruto felt a swell of hope in his heart. They had weathered storms and emerged stronger, and he knew that they could face anything that lay ahead. The village had become a home filled with laughter, resilience, and love. The bonds they shared were unbreakable, a testament to their strength as a community and as a family. "Let's make a promise," Ino suggested, her eyes sparkling. "No matter what happens, we'll always support each other and protect Konoha, as Naruto's wives and his partners in everything." "Absolutely," Kushina agreed, her voice steady. "We'll stand together, side by side." As they each affirmed their commitment, a sense of tranquility washed over Naruto. He knew they had faced dangers before, but with the love and strength of his wives behind him, he felt ready for anything. As the sun finally set and the first stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Naruto looked out over Konoha, filled with a sense of purpose and belonging. The village was more than just a place, it was a home filled with love, friendship, and the promise of a brighter future. With that thought in mind, Naruto knew that the journey was just beginning. Together with Kushina, Mikoto, Hinata, and all his friends, they would forge ahead, ready to protect their village and create new memories that would last a lifetime. The bonds of friendship and love were strong, and as long as they stood together, there was nothing they couldn't overcome. With the stars shining above and the warmth of their shared experiences in their hearts, Naruto felt a sense of peace wash over him. Konoha would always be home, and together with his wives, he would face whatever came next with courage and determination. That's the end of the story.